This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show podcast. Barstool Talk Daily. Except it's really early in the morning and no booze. For the most part.
This is the Monday song. It's Monday all day long. On Monday you can't go wrong. That's why I sing this song. So get yourself up from your slumber. Off to work, no time to lumber. No shower pressure, call the plumber. He was here last week, so you've got his number. Monday's the day you're feeling blah. You wish you didn't feel so blah. I can't stop saying the word blah. So blah, 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 blah. The rat race isn't always fun. You can't escape the morning sun. This Monday song is finally done, but your miserable week has just begun.
What's today? Monday?
Monday.
Recovery Monday.
Monday?
Oh,
already? Where'd the time go?
What do you mean Monday?
I hate Mondays.
Where'd the time go?
Mondays are the worst.
Oh, I hate Mondays.
So begins another wonderful work week.
No! Wake up, El Paso. Buzz Adams is back.
Okay. Are you done?
Let's get back to work. Showtime.
Only on 95.5 KLAQ. And good morning and welcome to Monday. Welcome to fall, everybody. Yesterday was the first day of fall, so we're now in it. We're now in autumn, if you prefer. Good morning, Nico and Jimmy.
I think I do prefer autumn.
Autumn?
Fall sounds bland.
Basic.
Yeah, basic.
Well, it is autumn. Good morning, Joanna Barba.
Good morning, Buzz Adams.
How was your weekend?
Lovely, thank you. How
Did
was
you
yours?
go out and see Escape to Fate?
No, I
You
didn't.
didn't make it?
I had a remote that day, and I was just
tired.
exhausted.
Yeah, got it.
So what did you go home to do, Joanna?
So my mom and I spent all weekend watching Cookie Bake Off show for Halloween, getting Halloween ideas. We were very invested.
You watch shows about cookies and Halloween.
Yes.
And bake-offs.
Oh, let's take a look at El Paso weather. This is the first week of fall.
Woo.
So are we going to have
autumn?
Are we going to have fall-like weather?
Or
Autumn.
Or autumnal.
Autumnal weather.
Well, it's going to be in the 90s.
Well,
Not today, but the rest of the week is going to be in the 90s. Might even get close to 100 this weekend. So,
oh man,
yeah, that's
And
kind of
there was
fall in
like
El
a nice
Paso.
crisp this morning.
Yeah. Oh, I'm wearing like a sweater today. It does get cold at night. No, that's not a problem. Sunny today. We are going to stay in the 80s for today, however. 87 for the high temperature. Then I'm not seeing any rain in the forecast this week. Looks like all sunshine every day. And for the remainder of the week, our highs are going to be in the low to mid 90s. Kind of warming up as the weekend gets here. 96 on Saturday and 98 on Sunday, but no rain to worry about. Lots of sunshine. And it will warm back up close to 100 by this weekend. This golfer's forecast brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. You can set up all your tee times and reservations online at painteddunes.com. That's painteddunes.com. Or call the pro shop. Their number is 915-821-2122. That's 821-2122. So, Nico, how did the first ever Chucotown Comedy Festival go?
It was great. It was a really good event. A lot of people were out at night, and it was just kind of fun to have different rooms to walk into to see what kind of shows were going on.
This would be like if El Paso, for one weekend, had like 10 comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Like a New York or an LA.
Yeah, and there was just like multiple shows going on at the same time. You could pop in here and there. Very fun.
We did our first live After Buzz podcast on Saturday at La Bang Bang.
We does the After Buzz, and I couldn't have been happier. It was very fun to see the listeners come out, people who enjoyed the...
people seemed to enjoy it. I was surprised. Pleasantly.
You had people out there who were just there
God,
for
you
the
had no
podcast.
faith in this, did you, Buzz?
No faith.
Unless I control every aspect of something, I'm always afraid the worst is going to happen unless I'm like taking care of every single detail.
Control issues.
Well, maybe, but it went okay, you say.
It went okay.
Did it record?
You were there.
I had people tell me that it was amazing
Really?
and so much fun.
It was a good time.
Why do you have such a terrible attitude about everything?
I don't.
I think you do.
Yes, you do.
I think you really do.
Let's check out Loudwire Nights tonight. And I want to focus tonight because we got such a great Mission Metallica at 10 o'clock. We're going all in on for the And Justice for All album tonight. And we'll also be hearing from Lars about what it was like for the band to really just explode after that album came out and got bigger and bigger with the release of Justice for All. So tonight we're going to hear 3 tracks from that one. One is going to be included in there, Harvester of Sorrow and Blackened. That's your Mission Metallica tonight at 10 o'clock. Check out Loudwire Nights every weeknight, Monday through Friday from 7 to midnight on 95.5 KLAQ. Joanna, Hollywood Cheesemate, you're going to have a Hollywood report coming up for us in about an hour. So
Yes.
what's coming up on that?
Perry Farrell's wife is giving us an update after that fight that led to an early end for Jane's Addiction concert. He's getting help.
He's the instigator of the fight. In
He
fact,
really
he was
is.
the only one that I really saw throw a punch. It was just
was,
Perry kind of trying to punch
Dave.
Dave Navarro.
He's seeking help.
You know, Jane's Addiction, maybe it's time for Jane's rehab. Let's see. What was going on yesterday?
Hey, good morning, Mo Show. This is Cousin Ian coming to you from AT&T Stadium in Arlington
Woo!
for your unsolicited Dallas Cowboys halftime report. They're sucking. They're sucking bad. If they don't get anything going in their first drive in the third quarter, the game will end at the end of third quarter. That is all. We'll see what comes up at the end. Talk to you guys later.
Dallas
The Cowboys would go on to lose that game.
They did not get better.
They kept sucking.
They came out after halftime, and you know what? I will say they were able to pull it closer because they were down a lot. It ended up being, I don't know, about a 6-point game.
They are almost out of playoff contention.
You're gonna be kidding! It's not even October yet.
I know.
So anyway, the Cowboys lost yesterday. The Baltimore Ravens got their first win of the season, and the Cowboys are now 1-2.
Da-da-da-da-da-da! Da-da-da-da-da! That cheap Cowboys team. Looks like we thought they were playing the Baltimore Cuervos. Instead, they were drinking Jose Cuervos. So the bus went away. They tried to come back and they failed. Damn, they gotta get better. No. They gotta get better, man.
You know, he calls in no matter what, so
That's nice.
you
Yeah.
gotta hand it to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cowboys ended up losing that game yesterday. Thank you, everybody, for keeping us on top of what's going on. Yesterday was the first day of fall. Do you guys take some of your winter clothes and put them aside during the summer months, or do they just stay in the main closet?
No, I got to put them away.
Right, because then they're all in the way. They're all bulky and they're in the way of all
Do
your
you
summer
do
clothes.
that?
Yeah. I take all my sweaters and sweater vests and.
Are you rearranging your closet every year?
Well, twice a year. So I remove the winter clothes along about May, and then I bring them back probably around this time, first week of fall, sometime around that.
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
At night, for sure. Here's the thing. It can be 100 or close to 100 in the daytime, and it can get pretty freaking chilly at night. So we will be taking a look at the first day of fall coming up. We've got Today in Sound Clips on the way here in just a few minutes. We're going to get to sound clips. Joanna is going to have the Hollywood Cheesemate coming up, and we've got a true crime report this morning, too. All that in addition to 3 random facts, which will spring on you later today.
The Daily Calendar. Hey, you. It's September 23rd. It's National Baker Day, National Checkers Day, National Dogs in Politics Day. What? Plus, it's Family Day and Redhead Appreciation Day. Both of those should be every day. Also, if your snack comes in stick form, today is Snack Stick Day.
Never do it, Slim Jim.
I think more snacks should come in stick form. Seems like it's only salty meat or sometimes peanuts all glued together. And that's your Daily Calendar.
Hey, it's Chuck, your host for Loudwire Nights. Tonight at 7, we will rock the borderland with the best rock ever made and the best rock being made. Special guests, birthday and anniversary celebrations, and every night at 10,
Visit the Hong Kong for all the details.
It's fall. Leaves change color. Temperatures cool. It's the perfect time to
wake up, El Paso. Buzz Adams is back.
You are kidding me.
No, senor! Only on KLAQ.
All right, we've got today in sound clips coming up.
Yeah.
Cash codes return this week. Another week of cash codes that could net you $30,000. We give out the cash code starting in the 8 o'clock hour, and then we give one every hour through 5 p.m. Listen every hour for those KLAQ cash codes. Here is Joanna to explain how to play the game once you have the cash code.
You're going to get the code. You're going to open up that KLAQ mobile app and tap on the money bag icon labeled Win Cash, and then scroll down to the appropriate hour to put your code in.
Do that as many times as you can get. Like I say, we have a brand new code word every hour, and each one of them is as good as an extra entry. Every day we pick 10 winners and give them $100 apiece, so $1,000 going out the door every day. You could get your share of that, or you could be the $30,000 winner. Think what you could do with $30,000.
Retire?
At this point in your life,
yeah.
Only if you're planning to live to 39.
Yeah.
Okay. Money Talks, the cash codes pay. And we'll have your first one coming up just a little bit after 8 o'clock this morning, and then every hour after that. Let's go ahead and do our sound clips for today.
And now, today in sound clips.
All of the day's news with accompanying sound bites and actualities. And we're going to start with a mass shooting in Birmingham. It looks like they were there to shoot one guy. They ended up shooting over 20 people, and 4 died. 4 people killed, at least 17 others were injured during a mass shooting late Saturday night in Birmingham, Alabama. At a press conference, Birmingham Police Chief Scott Thurman said that police don't believe the shooting was a random event.
We believe this was a targeted shooting. It was not something that occurred at that location, but there was an individual there who was targeted.
So I found this interesting. I was just looking at City Council agenda today, and they're going to be talking about crime in El Paso. So I think what I saw was the number of homicides this year is 16. Let me just double check that. Yeah, murders. There have been 16 murders this year. At this point in 2023, there had been 41 murders, so our murder rate is down. Now, compare that to Birmingham, Alabama, which is a city that's not even half the size, not even close to half the size of El Paso. This is their 122nd murder of this one and the 3 others who died make it 122 for the year at Birmingham. So
and we're at 40?
No,
we're at
16. Last year it was 43 at this time. So when people, you hear that thrown out that El Paso is one of the safest large cities in America, something we've taken a lot of pride in for a long time, you got to really appreciate the numbers here. So 122 in Birmingham, Alabama, compared to 16 in El Paso.
That's insane. And actually a testament not just to the people of El Paso, but the law enforcement.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yes, joint effort, which is why it's so galling when the governor of your own state, the attorney general of your own state, and the guy who botched Uvalde are on TV calling El Paso like ground zero for gang violence and one of the most dangerous cities in the world. It's just, when that's coming from your leaders, that's really got to piss you off when you look at the real numbers. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Reports from witnesses say that people were waiting in line to get inside Hush, a hookah and cigar lounge. This was in...
Go on.
They've got an entertainment district in Birmingham called 5 Points. This was on Magnolia Avenue. Some said the gunfire sounded like it came from a weapon fitted with a switch that converts a gun to fully automatic. A little more from the police chief in Birmingham, Scott Thurman, said there were a lot of shells collected at the scene of the shooting.
We believe that approximately over 100 shell casings were collected, along with numerous other pieces of evidence.
They have made no arrest in this shooting, which they say was not a drive-by. Here's Scott Thurman, the police chief, again, explaining why this wasn't a drive-by.
Suspects pulled up in a vehicle, exited the vehicle, conducted a shooting, got back in the vehicle, and fled the scene.
Thurman confirms that one of the people killed was who they believe was the intended target.
We believe the individual that was targeted is among the deceased. We believe that there was a hit, if you will, on that particular person, as far as, someone was willing to pay money to have that person killed.
And the Birmingham Mayor, Randall Woodfin, said the top priority right now is to find the shooters. Yes, they're still at large, and get them off the streets.
The first thing and the priority is to get these shooters, find these shooters, and get them off our streets. That will require the assistance of community members, not just from last night, but anyone who will have any information related to the whereabouts of these shooters.
Donald Trump spoke in North Carolina over the weekend, and for the first time in a long time when he's in North Carolina, gubernatorial candidate Republican Mark Robinson was not there with him. Not only did he not have Robinson, who is embattled right now over
his
odious comments, and that's a euphemism, really, when I say odious comments that he had made on a porn
saying he was
site.
a black Nazi, that he wanted to bring slavery back.
A lot of really damaging stuff there.
No, the really galling thing was apparently was left a post about liking transgender porn or something.
Oh, and he's extremely anti-trans, and
Right.
he talked about locking trans people up and throwing away the key. So the fact that on this porn site back in 2012, he was talking about how much he enjoys tranny porn.
Quote, unquote.
I mean, there's a lot here, but Trump did not mention the governor's race. He did not mention his handpicked candidate, Mark Robinson, a single time. But now we have found that basically Mark Robinson's entire campaign staff quit over the weekend. The fallout continues from last week's CNN report alleging that North Carolina candidate Mark Robinson had left anti-Semitic and racist comments on a porn website over a decade ago. Robinson's campaign announced yesterday that 4 top staff members on the campaign had resigned. Robinson has denied the allegations and said in a statement yesterday that, quote, he's confident our campaign remains in a strong position. I don't know, man. When Donald Trump doesn't want to be seen on stage with you, that seems like a pretty big statement. We're going to make our case to voters and win on November 5th. Mark Robinson is the lieutenant governor, and Josh Stein, his opponent, is North Carolina's attorney general. Stein, the opponent, told CNN that the only reason Mark Robinson even exists is because he was elevated by President Trump. Trump really liked the way he spoke, like his public speaking.
And how much he defended Trump.
Look, Robinson exists because Donald Trump has lifted him up throughout.
After all of this, it might come as a surprise to you that this is expected to still be a very, very close race in North Carolina. Atrium Health owns a bunch of hospitals, mostly in North Carolina and Georgia. They just announced that they would be forgiving more than 11,000 people's old medical debt. NBC News had done a story this month on how Atrium was aggressively pursuing debt, even putting liens on people's homes. So they got publicly shamed for it, and it looks like the public shaming worked because they announced they were forgiving the medical debt of 11,000 people. Here is Terry Belk, one of the customers who had his debt canceled, talking about the good news.
It feels great because you know that the way to build wealth for most Americans is through their home. So for almost 2 decades, I had that taken from me. Well, he said that I had been through a lot and that they're moving forward in a new direction as it relates to, patient care and outcome, that they're going to be lifting liens and counseling judgments on all ex-patients.
All right.
Oh, that's great.
I feel like we should be doing a morning show in North Carolina because I have another North Carolina story here. That's 3 in a row.
That'll be 3 in a row, right?
A man in North Carolina just got released from jail.
North Carolina man?
A North Carolina man released from jail. Within 2 hours, he stole a utility truck while the worker was still in the truck's bucket. Like if you're working on the phone
The
lines.
cherry picker.
The cherry picker. With the boom arm extended. The perpetrator, Frank Moody, was out of jail less than 2 hours, Joanna, before he drove off with the utility truck and the guy still up there in the bucket, the cherry picker. Frank Moody's charged with larceny of a motor vehicle and assault with a deadly weapon. I'm going to assume the guy could have died, so they're calling the vehicle the deadly weapon. Here are people in the community talking about the incident.
I've been up 80 feet, and you're that far up in the air, just the wind can shift and make you move, rock back 2 or 3 feet. He had to be terrified.
I feel for that person's family. He was just doing what he was supposed to do.
It was a Spectrum truck. The Spectrum employee injured his legs when he escaped out of the bucket, but they say that he'll be okay for the most part, luckily. Let's see. I might be out of sound clips today. that might be it for the sound clips.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, everybody. Oh, I got another one.
Okay.
I got one more. So I guess Macklemore, the guy who sang Thrift Shop.
Yes.
Well, he didn't sing it. He rapped it. Yeah. Rapping
Do you
and
have
singing.
to differentiate?
Yeah. Are you a singer? No, I'm a rapper. Now, you could be a rapper who also sings, or you could be a singer who sometimes raps.
What is Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park done?
Does he ever sing and it's not rapping?
Yeah.
Then he's a singer who raps or a rapper who sings. But rapping is not singing.
Go on.
This point of view brought to you by the year 1986. But I've always felt that way. Rapping is talking in meter. Singing, you change the pitch of your voice just like Will Ferrell in Elf.
Yeah, sure, they're technically two different things.
Okay. Macklemore has landed himself in the middle of an all-out online war after the rapper chanted F America in the middle of his recent show. He was performing at a Palestinian
okay, now I get it.
benefit concert.
I was going to say, there's plenty of reasons maybe for somebody to say F America. Which one specifically was he using it for?
Well, this was the Palestine Will Live Forever Festival in Seattle. That is Macklemore's hometown. Benefiting a charity known as the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees. So it was a pro-Palestinian concert, and that was when Macklemore dropped this classic line.
Straight up, say it. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to stop you. America.
Wow. Those are a lot of people who are very enthusiastically cheering somebody saying F America.
Mm-hmm.
They caught up with another artist who was not very happy about this. Do you know who the rapper Matisyahu is? He's an Orthodox Jew rapper, Matisyahu. So they asked him what he thought about that.
Not at peace with each other. It's going to keep people fighting because it's riddled with anti-Semitic tropes.
He's talking about Macklemore's latest
I know, but that's
album.
Mattis Yahoo?
Yeah, that's Mattis
Oh
Yahoo.
my God, how old is he?
Probably like 50-something.
So younger
Shut
than
up.
Buzz.
Not about, again, it's not about freeing Palestine. Let's just not forget for a second, this is a guy who wore a prosthetic nose and had to make a public apology for putting on Jew face. And he's obviously not about necessarily freeing Palestine, but again, he has this concept that sort of he perpetrates, which is that Jews run the world. This is an anti-Semitic idea that's been going on for thousands of years.
So anyway,
Wait,
yeah.
is Mattis Yahoo Israeli or Jewish?
Well, he's Jewish. I don't know if he's Israeli.
Jewish, yes.
Pardon me, Joanna?
He is 45 years old.
He's famously Jewish, you're saying.
Yeah.
He has dreadlocks.
45.
You've never heard of Mattis Yahoo before?
No.
Okay. Well, he's been around for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
He's been around for a while. Anyway, he blasted Macklemore for the song that he has out that's on his album, just calling it straight up anti-Semitic. I don't know. I'm upset that Macklemore would say F America, but I'm even more upset that so many people would enthusiastically cheer that. So those are your sound clips from over the weekend. Let's take a break. It's the first full day of fall, I guess. Yesterday was the first day of fall. And we'll have the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events coming up for you here in just a few minutes. Joanna's Hollywood Cheese May is also on the way, and more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show headed to you right after this.
Did you hear? Summer's already over.
Summer, you're fired. Autumn, you're hired.
Wines available for tasting craft vendors, live music, and Southwestern food. For more info, go to laviniawinery.com.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers. At GVILaw.com.
We'll have the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events coming up. Get the sweaters out, everybody. It's fall. Yeah, it might be 100 this weekend, but it's fall. And it gets cold at night. Let's see. I was telling you, I was looking at the city council's agenda. They're going to review crime data, and that's where I came up with that number, 16 homicides so far, compared to 41 last year at this time in 2023. So murders are down. Forcible sex offenses, 426 this year compared to 564 at the same point last year. Assaults are down. We got almost 7,000. We had over 10,000 last year at this time. Robbery down almost half. Vehicle theft down.
Awesome.
Almost half. And burglary almost half. So a lot of crime data they're going to look at. And they're also going to talk about the plans for the I-10 Deck Plaza.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if they've decided for sure if they're going to do that. I think they probably have to piddle away another couple $1 million on consultant fees before they decide not to do it. I mean, that's the way it went with the downtown arena, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, we have a clear vision for what it's going to be.
Well, just don't sell us this pie in the sky idea of this thing that you can't make happen, and then leave us on the hook for millions of dollars as
years.
taxpayers for over a decade.
Yeah, it's almost a psychological abuse at this point. Just teasing us.
You know what psychological abuse?
What?
That it's only the third week of the college football season, and my team is already out of the playoffs. Oklahoma got beat by Tennessee. It was their first SEC game, too.
How many losses? So does that mean they've lost more than they can win back to get into the playoffs or something?
It's their first loss, but I'm just how they looked. If they can't beat Tennessee, and Tennessee is a good team, If they can't beat Tennessee, they're not going to have a chance against Texas. If they got Alabama on the schedule, they're not going to have a chance against Alabama. It was their first game as a member of the SEC, and something tells me they'd like to go back to the old Big 8 if they could. It was a whooping. Cowboys lost. Miners lost. Miners at least kept it within 10 points against Colorado State. 27-17, your final from Fort Collins over the weekend. Has anybody gone to see any movies? I went to go see that scary one with James McAvoy. Did I tell you, Joanna?
You did,
Yeah.
What's it called?
Speak No Evil.
Yes.
I believe Speak No Evil. Mm-hmm.
And what's it about?
Like this couple that decide to become friends, and then you find
that's
out,
right.
You've probably seen
the one that there's a Danish remix of, John, or not remix.
The original was Danish,
right.
Which is funny because they make fun of Danish people in this one. It's like, we're going to take your movie and we're going to turn it around on you.
We're going to make fun of you.
Was it scary?
It was suspenseful. Scary? Yeah, there were a couple jump scares
James
in there.
McAvoy is really good in it.
Yeah, James McAvoy is always best when he's playing a scary character, and he hasn't done it that much. He was in Split, and he is in this one.
Whatever.
That's kind of like his thing, I think, is being, how kind of like Jesse Plemons is great, but Jesse Plemons is the greatest when he's playing a scary character. Did you ever see that movie that he was in with Ron Swanson? Civil War?
No, but my nephew was watching it.
It's
over
on
the
HBO
weekend.
Max now.
Yeah, he was watching it over the weekend, and I came out at a part where Jesse Plemons just like straight up shoots somebody.
Yeah, that was
And it
kind of like
scared me a little.
Yeah. You didn't stick around for the rest of the movie?
No.
Did you go with somebody to the movies? Did you take your daughter?
Yeah. So my daughter has early release some days because she's a senior, but she's also in a play, so she has to be back at 4:30. So she's got about 2.5 hours. And if we can find something that we're interested in watching, that's what we do.
Nice.
Instead of going home and it's like let's go catch a movie in between the time that I pick you up and when I got to take you back to school.
All right.
So
that's cool.
A previously unknown work allegedly by a teenage Mozart has been discovered. Yeah, that's interesting.
Really?
I feel like I want to find out more about that.
Yeah, Buzz clicks full and read more.
So like, read more, please.
Paywall.
God damn it. Billboard, of all the things that I had not have to pay for, Billboard. Also, our prep service should not send us things that...
Yeah, right. If you're going to send us a link to something, make sure
it doesn't have a paywall.
Are you going to take your ad block off? I guess.
How do you do that?
Pause on this site at the bottom.
Jeez. Here we go. More than 200. All right, listen, pay attention. This is
All right. Sorry, Grandpa.
This is about classical and classy music. Actually, some of Mozart's stuff was not classy at all.
Oh, Joanna, we just had a part of this of our bizarre historical facts. Mozart talked about farting and pooping so much that he even made an entire song about it. And
farting?
Yes.
If you saw the movie Amadeus, you'd know that he was a big fan of
toilet humor.
Yeah, of toilet humor.
Not very classy at all.
Not at all.
I'm trying to find. He wrote a song in German. Lick me.
Mean arse.
Lick me in arse.
Yeah. Lick my butt.
Basically means lick my butt. Oh, I found it.
I got to write down the time for that. I have to write that audio.
An obscure Mozart song, Lick mich im Arsch, which translates to lick me in the ass. It is actually a legitimate Mozart work that his name is on. He took credit for it. Not like this one they just
What
discovered.
are you singing at the symphony tonight? Lick mein Arsch.
Here's a little clip of that great Mozart composition.
Lebens ist das wahre Kreuz des Lebens. Das Brummen ist vergebens, nur ein Brummen ist vergebens.
Yeah, that's all about, basically kiss my ass. It's the rough translation.
Mozart and Johnny Knoxville, my genius cannot be stopped.
The vaunted composer died at age 35 in 1791, but a previously unknown piece of music that experts believe was written by a teenage Mozart was recently discovered at a library in Germany. The 12-minute piece, referred to as Ganz kleine Nachtmusik, dates to the mid to late 1760s. Wait a minute, doesn't Mozart already have a song with Ein kleine Nachtmusik? Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
You know what? Classical music, not my forte.
Really?
Yeah.
But you're so pretentious. How can it not be?
I am not pretentious at all. How am I pretentious?
Must I count the ways?
Yes.
You're always quoting poetry.
Oh,
who quotes poetry?
You do.
Yeah, you
not
do.
me.
I've heard you quote poetry.
Yeah, only Jabberwocky. That's that's the only one I know. You eat escargot for Christmas as a family tradition. You had a pony named Rose Hips when you were a kid.
Oh my God! On like a beaten down farm in Fort Hancock, and yeah, the escargot thing is real. But that's my grandpa.
Farm boy, saddle up Rose Hips. I'm going out riding today.
Jeffrey, please bring forward a Rose Hips. I would like to take a ride today.
My grandpa's the one who took care of the horses. There's no like farm boys or hand boys or anything like that.
Yeah.
Grandfather, I would like to ride a Rose Hips today.
Well, just give me a few minutes. I want to ride Rose Hips
He
now.
didn't speak English, okay? Thanks a lot for bringing up terrible, sensitive memories of my beloved grandfather.
Nice buzz.
Yeah, sure. What a bunch of dicks.
Let's
You know what? You both can lick me in my arse, okay?
Let's take a look at the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events. Today is Monday, and it's September 23rd. Today is International Day of Sign Languages. I found out an interesting thing just a few years ago. Different languages have their own sign language. Would it have not been a much better idea to
come
make
up with
one
a-
sign language, and then hearing impaired people could be the translators for everybody? All you'd have to do is get a couple, right? But
Yes.
English has its own ESL. Australia has its own. Many different languages. They even speak the same language we do.
Yeah, but ESL is based on an alphabet, our alphabet. So how can you expect other countries to base their language on an alphabet that might not be there?
I don't know. It just seems like when they were coming up with sign languages, they might have just standardized the whole thing.
But it's not. It's specific to English.
Right. Today is Restless Legs Awareness Day. Do you remember the first time you saw a commercial for medication for restless leg syndrome?
Yes.
That was when everybody started making the same joke. They're just making up diseases so they can sell medicine for the made-up disease. I guess it must be real for some
It is
people.
absolutely. It is absolutely a real thing. I
You
don't know
got
why
it?
you'd be. No. Why do you?
No, I mean,
just
I don't
make.
know.
I just
Now
don't make
I'm-
fun of people with medical conditions, Buzz.
Okay.
But yeah, it does sound made up completely.
Today's also Family Day. Birthdays today include comedian Hassan Minhaj.
Woo!
He's 39. He was
Minhaj.
Hassan Minhaj.
Thank you for
former-
correcting him, Joanna.
The former Daily Show correspondent. Remember, he was about to get was he about to get the full-time
Yes,
The Daily Show?
Daily Show.
Then they found out that he had embellished certain aspects
of his jokes.
of his jokes, which, by the way,
They
jokes aren't supposed to be.
fact-checked him on his own jokes.
he got fact checked
It's like,
over his.
Wait,
jokes.
what am I? What am I doing? A speech at the White House? This isn't a.
Can you believe?
I can't.
So anyway, he didn't get that plum gig because they decided that for the first time in history they were going to fact check a comedian over his jokes. Hassan Minhaj is 39 today. Anthony Mackie is having a birthday. Falcon from the Marvel movies. He's 46. He's going to be the Captain America in the upcoming Captain America movie.
Are you excited for that one?
I guess so. Harrison Ford turns into a Red Hulk, so, you can't ask much more from a movie than that.
I love the interviewer who goes, Mr. Ford, what is the best part about being part of the Marvel universe? And he's like, the money.
The paycheck.
Getting paid.
That's Harrison Ford for you. Harrison Ford has been over all of this since before he was ever in Star Wars. Doesn't he just seem like a grumpy dude?
Yeah.
I'd rather be flying an airplane.
Yeah.
Or crashing.
I'd rather be crashing an airplane. But Anthony Mackie will be the new Captain America. Jason Alexander, who played George Costanza on Seinfeld's having a birthday today. He's 65. So Seinfeld came on, over 30 years ago. So George must have been, or Jason Alexander must have been 31, 32. Do you think that's about how old Jerry was? I'm asking because they showed Jerry, and every time I see Seinfeld.
I never watched the show.
You never watched a single episode of Seinfeld?
I watched, I think, a few
Yeah,
episodes.
right. Same here. Same with me.
But not like all. I watched 4 episodes.
Anyway, Jason Alexander's 65. Bruce Springsteen, the boss, is 75 today. And the singer Julio Iglesias, the father of Enrique Iglesias, is he related to Gabriel Iglesias?
No relation.
No, he's not like the third son or nothing like that.
No, there's no Shempo Iglesias.
Julio Iglesias is 81 today.
Joanna, one of my favorite Golden Girl episodes is when Sophia is like, don't worry about me. I've got a date with Julio Iglesias.
And then it is Julio?
Nobody believes her throughout the whole episode.
And everyone's like, "Oh, Mom,
They're like, you don't have to lie to.
Come have dinner with
It's
us."
like, it's okay that you don't have any friends. And the last scene is like Julio picks her up.
And he's like, "I don't want anyone to see me." And she's like, "Well, what's the point of dating Julio Iglesias if no one's going to see it?"
Yeah, I never watched it.
Ugh.
Well, it's fall, everybody. Yesterday was the first day of autumn.
It's fall, y'all.
Do you think we will hear a fall king by the end of the week?
Did you see we're already getting requests?
By
for
the end of
fall
the week?
king?
Yeah.
I will take that under advisement. I don't have one ready to go right
talk
now.
to his people.
Yeah, we'll talk to the Fall Kings.
But
people.
happy
Get back
fall,
here.
everybody.
What started with pumpkin spice lattes has now taken over the world. Pumpkin spice margarine, pumpkin spice fettuccine, pumpkin spice Pringles. Now everything comes with pumpkin spice, like pumpkin spice ale. Drink too much, get sick. Even your yak will smell like pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice proactive. Sure, it doesn't get rid of your pimples, but makes each one look like a little pumpkin. Oh, not feeling so fresh, ladies? Rub a little pumpkin spice on it. You'll feel good enough to eat. Who doesn't love a mouthful of pumpkin pie? Pumpkin spice is fat-free, calorie-free, gluten-free, and now 27% more pumpkin-y. Mr. President, trouble in the Middle East? Why not bomb them with pumpkin spice?
Everything in the world's alright now that everything's made with pumpkin spice.
Mother pumpkin, yeah.
Find out what's going on. Quirky facts about our region. Urgent things you need to know impacting your drive. And of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
Blues. But whatever get worse, you don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a town square media station.
Steve Kaplowitz will be by later to talk sports with us. The Miners lose on the road. The Cowboys lose at home. The Cowboys are now 1-2. The Sooners lost against Tennessee on Saturday. Well, there's a lot for everybody to be bummed out about this morning.
Are they playing Texas this year? Or have they already played?
No, they haven't already played.
I guess they do it every year, right?
Well, I mean, they've been in the same conference, and now they're in the same conference again, the SEC. I hope they keep that annual game kind of around the same time It's at the Cotton Bowl. It's while the Texas State Fair is going on. Yes, they're playing this year. I just hope they're able to keep the schedule kind of the same. I've always thought it was unfair that they play Texas versus Oklahoma in Texas 100% of the time.
Why doesn't it ever happen in Oklahoma?
Well, it's in Dallas. So the claim is Dallas is halfway between Austin and Norman. But it's Texas, man. That's a home field advantage. Actually, if you've ever been to that game, half of the stadium is burnt orange and the other half of the stadium is crimson and cream.
Hey, we have a neckline call about that movie you went to go see, Speak No Evil. Did you see that one?
I did, but it was just like chock full of spoilers, and it only came out like last week.
Oh.
Am I the only one looking out for spoilers now?
Joanna, do you think we could...
Oh, my God. This is what you're looking out for, spoilers?
Yeah, right.
This is the movie you choose not to get
Avengers
spoilers?
movies and for, like, big events. He's like, well, let's just tell him now. Yeah, I think we're fine. Joanna, it's been a week, right?
I think it's been a week, yeah.
Okay.
Yo. But so I heard you watched Speak No Evil, man.
I did.
And the Danish people deserve to be made fun of for that movie that they put out, the original one. Because, dude, it is terrible, man. And I'm not saying it's a terrible movie. It's just a terrible story. Like, it hurts you in the gut. It hurts you in the heart.
Here come the spoilers.
You have kids, and I know we're getting into spoiler territory.
Yeah.
The Danish.
Do you want me?
I don't know. I mean, it just basically tells you the plot of the movie, and it is a remake of a Danish movie.
Oh,
we got in a big conversation. How many names are there for people from Denmark?
Bjork.
Also, where are the Netherlands? Is that the same as Denmark?
Yes.
No, it's not.
No, I don't think it is.
What is Holland?
What is Holland?
What is Holland? Is it the Netherlands?
Belgium,
Holland.
I believe?
No. Yeah, my daughter and I were trying to figure all this out, and I'm like, I should know this. I mean, I know geography enough to know. So if you're from Denmark, you're Dane. If you're from the Netherlands, you're
Dutch.
There you
Thank
go.
you,
That's
Joanna.
the other one that makes no sense.
All right.
It's like-
is that right? Shut
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, it is
I was
Dutch.
just throwing things out.
Thank you. Yeah, you were perfect on that
Shut
one.
up.
I say we go for it. Let's just hear the spoiler.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just one. Like, it's basically they befriend parents, kill parents, take kid, cut their tongue out. So
They
can never
did
tell.
cut that little boy's tongue out.
And
They're the bad guys?
multiple times. Like, that's the best way I can put it.
That was pretty good.
I hope this new one that, they made is a way better ending than that.
Ooh.
Because it just sucks, dude, all the way around. It does not leave you feeling, just doesn't leave you feeling good at all, man. It's terrible.
Okay.
Stoner guy out, man.
Stoner guy out.
Stoner guy.
Well, they can't all be Cheech and Chong, Stoner guy.
You want to leave a horror movie feeling a little good inside, like.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check it out now. I like when horror movies don't have a happy ending.
You do? I'm kind of with a Stoner guy. I like to feel a little bit better.
We talked about today being Restless Leg Awareness Day, and I brought up that if you're like me, you first heard about restless leg syndrome.
You were trying to mock the sick people with conditions.
You probably heard about restless leg from the commercial for the drug that treats restless leg, right?
No, people in my family had it for a while. So
really, and what is it like? Your legs just feel like they want to keep moving while you're trying to sleep.
Yeah, it's like a nerve. It's like a neurological disorder.
Morning, Buzz. Early bird here. Yeah, man, that restless legs thing is for real, man. I had an episode of that quite a few years ago.
Yikes!
Had a situation where my legs felt like almost like pins and needles, but they felt better when I was moving. But when I was sitting still, it was almost unbearable. It felt like I had to be doing something.
Really?
So I literally had to get up and go out and ride my bike around the neighborhood for like 2 or 3 laps. Come back, sit down, come back again, get back up, go out. And so for a couple of weeks, almost every night I would either go out biking or skating. It kind of relieved the feeling of having the restless legs. And luckily it went away. All right, guys. You have a good morning.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Sounds like it would motivate you to exercise, though.
Yeah, but can you imagine, like, you just want to take a nap and your legs are like, nope, we're riding a bike.
Yeah, it feels like things are shaking inside your leg almost.
Huh. All right. I guess it's real then.
Oh, my God.
We are getting requests for the Fall King.
We are.
Well, I don't have any visit with the Fall King set up, but I was thinking as a possible compromise, if people really want to hear it, I could play back like the very first visit from the Fall King.
Ooh, yeah. Everybody gets to hear an oldie?
Yes, we're now in the season known as fall or autumn. And I am just noticing, a lot of people are requesting the Fall King. So I thought, I'll go to the vaults and dig up one. And then I'll do everything I can to get another visit from the Fall King for this year before the end of the week.
Awesome.
It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. Joanna, tell us more.
And here is Joanna Barba with our Hollywood Report, the Hollywood Cheese Man. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning. Perry Farrell's wife, Eddie Lau Farrell, updated fans on the singer's mental and physical condition on Saturday following an onstage meltdown that led Jane's Addiction to cancel their North American tour. Eddie previously gave a detailed breakdown of the events surrounding the altercation, and in her new Instagram post, she offers a positive perspective, letting fans know that Perry will persevere and that he is seeking medical attention for the vocal issues that plagued him on the tour. And also wrote, quote, "As you know, Perry is the gentlest of souls. We are equally..."
Not when he was punching Dave Navarro, he wasn't.
If you really knew him.
Yeah, right.
You
if you
gotta
get
know
past the
him
punching.
really good. She says, "We are equally astonished at Perry's physical outburst as you are, but you must know that Perry must have been pushed to his absolute limit. To that end, we apologize." He's getting help for his vocal issues. What about those anger issues?
He was mad because the band was playing too loud.
He says that the band was overpowering.
Well, if he was having vocal issues, maybe he wasn't singing loud enough. Maybe the band was doing what they're supposed to do.
Perhaps. Maybe he should get help for those anger issues.
Can I repeat my joke from an hour ago?
What was your joke?
I wouldn't expect any less.
Sounds like Jane's Addiction might be ready for Jane's rehab.
Oh, right.
And you do your own.
Okay, let me just write that down. That is now a contender for recycler.
I can only hope to win back the golden microphone after your dig at my mom over a trampoline.
The jumpoline.
Mic drop for Joanna.
Thank you. This one's just for Nico. Aaron Sorkin, the creator of the popular political drama The West Wing, has revealed that he's seriously considering a reboot of the series after attending a 25th anniversary celebration for the show at the White House this past Friday. Speaking to Variety in an interview on the same day, Sorkin explains, saying, quote, I didn't think about it seriously, frankly, until today. I just got a couple of ideas for episodes just walking around the White House. Like, why didn't we ever do this? Why didn't we ever do that? We'll see what happens when I wake up tomorrow. But if you're asking me now, this is how I feel.
Yay!
Sorkin also admitted that in the past, he had reservations about bringing back The West Wing due to concerns that audiences would miss the original cast. But Warner Brothers TV chairman Channing Dungey was also in attendance at the anniversary celebration and echoed Sorkin's statement, telling Variety, quote, there are a lot of shows right now that are doing reboots, and I think it would be hard to go back to The West Wing, but I wouldn't put it past Aaron. He's a very smart guy, but if you start it now, today, in the current climate, it would definitely be different. The political landscape has shifted a lot since the show was made.
Oh, so different. It's almost like in a different world watching people that are arguing about conservative values versus,
But all of it seems very mainstream compared to, I want to say, the last 8 years, the last almost 8 years.
Yeah.
Right. Wouldn't you say that a lot of it just seems a lot more inside politics and not Looney Tunes?
Yes.
Okay.
You
get what I'm saying, right?
That it showed off this professional class of people, and people talk about it like it's a bad thing now. They talk about DC insiders or people that just work in politics. I mean,
the swamp.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, for a long time, these are people whose entire careers were centered around focusing on how to get things done in Washington, D.C., push it through the levers of government. And
not just crazy stuff like whether or not they're eating dogs and cats in Ohio.
Right.
Yeah.
It's much more theater now.
Interesting.
Theater of the absurd.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian visited the Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility near San Diego on Saturday to speak about prison reform with a large group of inmates that included brothers Lyle and Eric Menendez. Kardashian was joined by her sister Khloe, her mother Kris, and film producer Scott Budnick and actor Cooper Koch, who plays Eric in Ryan Murphy's Netflix biopic series Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story.
Wait, so the Menendez brothers were there for the Kardashian
apparently
thing?
they were. I thought they were in separate prisons. Anyway, on Friday, one of the Menendez brothers, Eric, slammed the show Monsters, saying that the Netflix anthology series' second installment perpetrated ruinous character portrayals of him and his brother Lyle, and said, quote, "It is with a heavy heart that I say I believe Ryan Murphy cannot be this naive and inaccurate about the facts of our lives so as to do this without bad intent." Menendez wrote this in a statement that was posted by his wife Tammy. How is this dude married?
They were like prison heartthrobs when they got thrown in jail. I don't know what it is. Like, there's no guy out there, or there's not a bunch of guys that fall in love with Eileen Wuornos because she's in prison. But if
there are,
maybe. I'm just saying, what is it with women? There's something that sets off a trigger in some women's mind. Oh my God, he's a murderer. I have to reform him and take care of him.
Like there could
somebody married Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, in prison.
Right.
We're going to fix them.
There could be a person that can't get any woman, but if he murdered somebody, you're saying that might help him.
And he goes like, so what you're saying is...
So what you're saying is...
Murder.
So my understanding of this Ryan Murphy show about the Menendez brothers is that it shows them in a incestuous love. They're into each other, like sexually.
The brothers?
Yes.
I'm not sure that's real, right?
Maybe that's why they had to put them in separate prisons.
So that's what Eric Menendez is talking about there.
Oh.
Right. I guess they portray them as kind of sexual with each other or something.
Sick.
Right.
It's
they
a sick
killed
story all around.
Too.
Yeah.
Right.
Finally, Metallica gave its first concert in Mexico City in 7 years on Friday, and the band's bassist, Robert Trujillo, took the opportunity to pay tribute to his Mexican roots by performing a very iconic song, La Chona, made famous by the corrido group Los Tucanes de Tijuana, and everybody loved it. Here is just a little snippet of it. As you've probably heard at parties.
Maybe not like that.
Maybe not like that. Maybe not the Metallica version of it, but it wasn't long until after
I feel like I've heard that at every swap meet that I've been to in El Paso.
The moment was quickly trending on social media, where users celebrated the rock band's gesture to its Mexican fans. One user wrote, "La Chona is national heritage and Metallica knows it." Another one said, "The most surreal thing is Metallica playing La Chona." Metallica is giving 4 performances in Mexico City as part of its M72 World Tour in support of their 2023 album, 72 Seasons. And with your entertainment news, I'm Joanna Barba.
Hey, yes or no, Joanna, do I replay like the original Fall King in honor of fall? Should I?
Not
Okay.
here for sure, but yeah.
No, not right now, but before the end of this hour.
Yes, you should.
And then cash codes start in the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
And Nico says he has an Am I the A-hole for us
All
today.
I do.
All right, we'll have that coming up. Also, the original Fall King interview.
All right, Fall King.
So who are we going to hear on that then?
Me.
And the
Mondo.
Fall King.
I think you hear Duke in the background.
And Teresa?
Probably Teresa. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's probably right in that.
That's when I was in middle school listening to it.
Okay. All right. So we'll have that coming up. More of the Buzz Adams Morning Show here for the first full day of fall. More on the way right after this.
Hey, it's Double G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Subject to driver availability and purchase, exclusions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Local and loco.
Don't you know I'm loco?
The Buzz Adams Morning Show. 95.5 KLAQ.
All right. We have tickets for the Way Out West Festival featuring Billy Currington this Saturday at the El Paso Convention Center. Okay. Didn't they used to have that like at the baseball stadium or something? I thought that was an outdoor event.
What?
The Way Out West Festival.
Ooh, I think it was downtown here, right? Was it? Do we know where it was?
It's at the convention center this year. I always thought it was like outdoor. I've never been to one, but I always thought it was like outdoor.
I thought it was at the stadium. This says it takes place at the convention center.
That's right.
With stages on the streets to the south of the venue. Wait a minute.
All right.
Can I tell you something that happened?
They stole our Street Fest idea, is what it sounds
Right?
like. We were told we couldn't do Street Fest down there anymore because they put in the trolley. The streetcars, that's right. What's going on
it does
here?
It does sound exactly like Street Fest.
Anyway, we've got tickets for it.
Hey, so on Saturday, there was the comedy festival downtown, but I parked somewhere up closer on, I think, Kansas or Campbell. Anyways, they had blocked off an entire area next to Indigo Hotel, and they were taking tickets, and there was a big stage set up.
Yeah, I saw that. I passed by that.
What was that?
Oh.
What kind of concert was going on downtown? It looked huge.
It was like a...
Maybe that's where they sent
did
all the
see-
people who got ejected out of the Gateway Hotel.
I want to say it was maybe a DJ that was performing.
Okay, that makes more sense. I did see a lot. I didn't know where the Gateway Hotel was till the comedy festival. It was the hotel on the end of the street we were on.
It's on the end of the street we're on.
We were on for the festival where we did the podcast.
Somebody called in about that. Somebody sent me a message or called in about that. Hold on. Let me find this real quick. You've got an Am I the A-hole, right?
I do have an Am I the A-hole?
Yeah, somebody called in over the weekend to talk about the Gateway Hotel is part of the reason that the governor and the freaking attorney general say that El Paso is like this crime-ridden cesspit.
Mm-hmm.
They shut down the Gateway Hotel. I think they shut them down for a month, but that means they had to evict everybody. Supposedly the hotel, if you're listening to the Fox News version, had taken over the Gateway Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Some local news channels went and did a walkthrough, and they talked to plenty of people in there who did not seem like Venezuelan drug gang members.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they spoke English and were American, and they were worried that, hey, I've lived here for 15 years or 12 years or whatever, and they're about to put me out on the street.
Hey, you guys, ever since they closed that Gateway Hotel, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Downtown, there's just a surge of just people on the streets with, like luggages and suitcases and from young kids to old senior citizens just posted up at, places. And I'm seeing a huge impact after they shut that hotel down. Just a huge, not impact, but a huge, what's the word I'm looking for here? Basically, I'm seeing a lot more transients is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, yeah, just a lot of them, dude. Just how many people were in that hotel? Anyways, have a good one, guys. I hope these people find a place soon. I hope they find other nonprofit to take them in or something. Have a good one, guys. Take care. I guess you guys can guess who this is, by the way. It's 5 Points, guys. I was downtown all weekend, and I couldn't even go, 2 steps without encountering a homeless person, and then they act like you're in their house. Like, hey, get out of my house, but you're literally just walking behind the sidewalk. Anyways, have a good one, guys.
Okay, so I was with him, next to him for this entire weekend.
Did that
for the most part.
I've never had anybody.
I was with him when he did this call.
Yeah, I was with him when he did this call. There weren't any more. It just seemed like the usual number of homeless people in any downtown area.
You didn't see people with their luggage and stuff.
I did see a couple people with backpacks, a couple people with suitcases.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the walkthrough, they did one for KVIA, and then Fox did one, and it looks like a place that should be condemned. I mean, just because of the conditions inside the hotel. But apparently they've been operating since 2018 without a certificate of occupancy.
Mm-hmm.
That was 8 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, that was 6 years ago.
It's still.
How can you go 6 years without all the paperwork you need? Whereas I once lived in a neighborhood that had like a homeowners association, and I went to put up a basketball goal in my driveway, and before I could even get the thing up, somebody was there telling me that I wasn't allowed to do that. How could somebody go for 6 years?
Neglect. Yeah.
When regulators and people from the city
slumlords.
Yeah, and there was, they interviewed one guy, and he was an American guy, an older dude, and he was saying, "Yeah, this is the only place I can really afford, but it is no picnic." So there were a lot of problems with this Gateway Hotel, but the governor and his attorney general have seized on this just to smear El Paso and say, "Look, it's not worse anywhere in the world than it is in El Paso," and we know that just not to be true.
It was fine. I really enjoyed being downtown this weekend. No, there was not just a homeless person everywhere you turned.
Because you were downtown, too.
Yes, I was right next to him. I mean, there was the old man homeless person who I've known for 20 years, and he's always been downtown. And there's just normal, homelessness is a problem in every city. It's not just El Paso.
Yeah, I mean, I think we probably have our share, but it is worse in Albuquerque. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
All right, Nico, you have an Am I the A-hole scenario. Sometimes these are sent in by our listeners who sometimes they're called in by our listeners. What do we have today? What's the situation?
All right. I'm going to let you and Joanna choose between these two.
I don't like when you do that. Just pick one out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't like it when...
All right, let me hear them.
Okay. I know you like the choices.
Yeah, he does.
Am I the a-hole for not supporting my wife when she started to act out during a Swedish tradition from our foreign exchange student? Or am I the a-hole for telling my mother-in-law she can never visit us or my sister and her child again after saying the N-word?
I want to go with the N-word.
That one.
You want that one?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
The mother-in-law can't visit the kids, and because she said the N-word.
Right.
Okay.
All right, let's get into it. My sister-in-law's name is Alice. She's a single mom, and she had her first child at 16 and her second by 19. She lived with her parents, but was often mistreated by my mother-in-law, Pat. My mother-in-law is a pretty vicious woman. She wore a light beige dress to my wedding one time, and anything I do isn't good enough. My grandmother died, and I inherited a double condo townhouse. My husband and I moved into one, and the tenants next to us moved out about 6 months ago. So my sister-in-law, Alice, was having a hard time. I told her she could move in.
Wait, is that her husband's sister?
Yeah.
So her husband and the sister-in-law are the children of the woman who uses the N-word.
Right, supposedly. So my sister-in-law, Alice, is working part-time and going to orthodontics assistant school. She's not a troubled person that she's not the troubled person my mother-in-law makes her out to be. In 6 months, she hasn't been a problem, and the boys are now 7 and 4, and they're not bad children at all, just boys.
Okay, but what did she do 6 months ago? It says that she hasn't had
that she moved in.
Oh.
Are you following so far?
No, not so much.
Where did he lose?
The sister-in-law moved in with them 6 months ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you with me so far?
Yeah. So in the 6 months that they've lived there, everything's been hunky-dory.
Hunky-dory.
All right.
Fine. Well, my mother-in-law was visiting Alice, and the 7-year-old boy was outside playing and knocked over a planter on my side of the double condo. Not a big deal. My mother screamed at him and called him a little N-word because he's a mixed child.
Mm-hmm.
I was so angry at her, I told my mother-in-law to leave the property and not come back to visit ever. My sister was in shock, but told me later...
Sister-in-law.
Excuse me. My sister-in-law was in shock, but told me later on that her mom has often spoken to her 7-year-old like that. I told my husband, and he thinks I overreacted, and that his mom just isn't used to children playing rough because he wasn't allowed to. I told my husband that a ball bouncing and a planter breaking is just an accident, and his mother's language was what was unexcusable. His whole family is saying that I'm being dramatic and that Alice has the habit of exaggerating everything. But I heard for myself what his mother said. And in the 6 months of her living next to us, she's never given me a reason to not trust her. Update. My mother-in-law is still insisting she didn't say that word and I misheard her. My husband and I are still arguing over it because he thinks that his mother said it out of anger.
She's saying that she said something that sounded like her.
I don't think that's a valid reason to say that to a child or anyone. Am I being the a-hole?
Well, I mean, a lifetime ban might be going a little far. Maybe say until you can comport yourself like a civilized. Maybe say until you can come back and not use that language around these kids. You're banned until then. It just seems like a unilateral lifetime ban.
It sounds like there was already issues here with the mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of issues.
It sounds like, the mother-in-law and her didn't get along to begin with, and this was just a really good...
And she was just like, now I'm putting a ban in
Although,
it.
I completely agree, though. Like, if there's going to be a person in a child's life who is going to...
Use abusive racial language?
Abusive racial language.
Yeah,
they
probably
should
not the best for the kid.
Yeah.
And if she can't keep herself from using that kind of language, the ban stays in effect. It sounds like the rest of the family is at least comfortable with their mother, or at least willing to overlook it.
Have you ever heard your mom say the N-word?
No, but I used to hear
His mom doesn't even say bad words.
No, she doesn't.
No, I've never heard my mom use the N-word. Now, older relatives, like my grandparents' generation, they would throw it around without even thinking that it meant anything. I mean, they weren't mad or they weren't. That was just the
a
word.
normal word in conversation.
Yeah, because they were born in 1905
Yeah.
or whatever. That was just, they used it, but without any animosity. If that's hard to believe, that was definitely the impression I got.
I could see that. Yeah, it was a different generational thing for sure. Well, I guess that's why I kind of asked about your mom, because I know she's a different generation as well.
She is.
Do we have any opinions on is she being the a-hole?
Like I say, I think the lifetime ban with no chance of reprieve is probably a little over the top.
Nah, banner for life.
Banner for life.
Ban that bitch.
Is that what you say, Joanna?
Yes.
What if the mother-in-law came and profusely apologized, and quit? What could she have said that would have sounded like that?
Right? What?
There's not really a word that
I was saying neighbor.
Neighbor? Why, you little neighbor?
Stop it.
Oh, my God.
Did you see Derek's email?
No, but I'm sure that he was writing in as soon as we started talking about this.
He was.
What did he say?
I can't say it on air.
Of course you can. So I got.
Have been bad. He
I
didn't
got
send it to me.
I got is the a-hole. No, is not the a-hole. Joanna has is not the a-hole and should keep the ban in place permanently.
Permanently.
I am a person who believes in forgiveness, and redemption.
How Christian of you.
Yeah.
How path of least resistance of you.
You think?
No, not really.
No, I think
Not
a
everybody can-
lifetime ban is a very extreme thing to do. But yeah, not the a-hole.
Okay.
You were good in this
So
one.
that's it. But we both agree not the a-hole.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're fine.
All right.
And you wish I'd go away. Hey now, I'm a and you see me every day. Everywhere that you go, there's at least one.
This is Am I the A-Hole? Let's take a break. Nico's got news coming up in about 20 minutes. And in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll have your first cash code of the day here for Monday, September the 23rd. More of the Buzz Adams Morning Show's coming up right after this.
In case you're running low, here's some reasons to hate fall. Pumpkin spice, nature is dying.
See me at Vida 901 North Mesa across from Walgreens or visit vida-cbd.com.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers. At GVILaw.com.
There it is. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Check it out.
So Nico
Yeah, that's some
has...
good bumper music right there.
Thanks, man. It's Boots Riley.
It's bumping.
So Nico is going to have the news coming up for us. And you had something about fast food.
Yeah, I have a list of the most controversial fast food menu items of all time. And this list is pretty incredible for just the things that companies had the audacity to even try to release.
Gosh, I wonder if I'll know many of these. Because I've been going to fast food restaurants most of my life.
Didn't your mom take you to McDonald's, but only for special occasions?
Special.
Like your birthday? Yeah.
Right. Anytime we went to a fast food restaurant, it was like a treat. I mean, we were drinking soda. Yeah, it was a real rare treat when I was a kid. Let me get this call first.
Okay.
Somebody wanted us to do an Am I the A-Hole for them? And here's how the call starts out.
Hey, good morning show. Well, actually, Nico. Good morning, Nico.
Good morning.
Babe. Hey, I got a Am I the A-Hole thing, and I kind of wanted to see if what you guys thought. So
at this point, I realized the call was over 4 minutes long. So fortunately, the caller called back.
sorry, guys. I just realized that last call was like 4 minutes long. So I'm going to try to condense it.
Yeah.
I'm driving down I-10 West. There's two cars. One of them moves out of the way. I'm on the passing lane. I'm on the furthest left lane. We're going 70 miles per hour. This lady's going at least 60. And she's just keeping the line long on the passing lane, and all the other cars are too dangerous to be zigzagging through. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to tailgate her a little bit and flash my lights so she can move out of the lane, and we can all pass. Nope. She slows down, lets go of her gas, and slows it down to about 40 miles per hour in one section. She finally, after keeping me like that for a few exits, off of Executive, decides to move from the furthest left to the furthest right lane. And I get annoyed at that point. I go to the furthest right lane in front of her and slow down too. Stop pressing on the gas. And then I decide that, okay, she's had enough right at the Sunland exit. And I turn to look, and I'm smiling. And as I'm smiling and turning and looking, I realize that she's recording. And now I'm like, this lady's recording. But am I the a-hole for tailgating a person that was slowing down traffic on the left lane? I don't think I am. And also, am I the a-hole for doing the same thing to her? I don't think I am. I think it was well-deserved. But, all right, guys, let me know what you think later.
Okay.
She was recording?
I mean, that's funny. Okay,
I've seen this happen before where somebody's upset and so they get in front of the person to make a point, and I just think that invites road rage, possible accident. So from that perspective, I'm going to say, caller, you are the a-hole.
I think so. I mean, when you go out of your way to get payback on the road for some slight to
the public highways and byways are no place to get retribution.
Yeah, it's a little petty at that point. But I do know what he's talking about.
Sure.
About when
It's
you're going on, when you're trying to pass and you're on the lane, and then somebody slows down to an inappropriate level of speed. It can be so frustrating. And you know what's funny is I was going to choose between this list of controversial fast food items or this list of states with the worst driving.
I read the states with the worst driving one. It's all self-reported, so it's basically which state is the most honest about their bad driving.
Well, New Mexico's number 3.
Well, that sounds like it checks out. I can't imagine who would have come in ahead of them. Who did come in ahead of New Mexico?
Oh, so now you're interested. Hawaii and Oregon.
Hawaii?
Yeah.
They're bad drivers on Hawaii?
Terrible drivers, apparently. Now you're interested.
You got him.
No. I didn't know they were bad drivers in Hawaii.
Drivers there top the list for changing lanes or turning without signaling, speeding 20 miles per hour or more over the speed limit, and running red lights.
Okay. What was the other one ahead of New Mexico?
I didn't even want to do this one.
Yeah, but now I need to know where are the worst drivers worse than in New Mexico?
Oregon and Hawaii.
I've never been to either one of those states.
Oregon's good. I couldn't notice the difference.
You couldn't tell the difference? New Mexico, you can though, can't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like whether you're in their territory or they're in your territory, the driving remains atrocious.
You want to get into the fast food?
Sure.
Are you playing? Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking of trying to find something kind of fast food like.
Yeah, play it.
I work at Burger King making flavor Whoppers. I wear paper hats. Would you like an apple pie with that? Would you like an apple pie with that?
That'll be enough. All right, go ahead. So these are things that fast food places have put out
that are very controversial.
Oh, all right.
Or that created controversy. Number one, or first up, the McDonald's McNuggets. Rumors have long persisted that there is a woefully small amount of real chicken within each McNugget. And the topic came up when that image of pink goo or slime, supposedly called mechanically separated poultry, was released and said to be used to create McNuggets.
That pink slime? I thought those were what the hamburgers were made out of.
No, the nuggets was what the controversy was the whole time.
Okay.
Well, anyways, understandably, customers were disgusted. And it turns out McDonald's has worked really hard to disavow that claim ever since. McDonald's has a page on their website completely dedicated to this and addressing it. Here's what their statement says. No, our chicken McNuggets do not contain what people call pink slime or pink goop. We've seen the photo of pink goop or pink slime in association with McDonald's. Let's set the record straight. This image in connection with McDonald's is a myth. In fact, we don't know where it came from, but it's not our food.
I can remember seeing that on TV and thinking...
We don't use pink goo or pink... I remember seeing it too. Yeah.
And as I recall, it was reported as, this is what your burgers look like before they put them all together.
No, it was reported that this was what your chicken nuggets look like.
Okay. Agree to disagree.
Oh, I have a whole story about it. What are you talking about? There is no story that says, oh, McDonald's burgers were mistaken as pink goo.
That's the way I remember it.
Your memory's wrong, son.
Okay.
All right. Next up. Chick-fil-A's cauliflower sandwich.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it was a runaway hit. People would run away.
It was not. Chick-fil-A rolled out their cauliflower sandwich only for a limited time, immediately sparking backlash. One social media user posted, "Not a penny more spent on your woke agenda, Chick-fil-A."
I don't know about a woke agenda. It seems like you could pretty much not order that and it would still be the same Chick-fil-A that you're used to, right?
That you could not order it?
Yeah, just don't order it if you don't like it.
Right, but remember, this is a company that is kind of famously known for its conservative values, and it invited vegetarian backlash.
Wait, vegetarian backlash?
Well, one, because they couldn't even call it vegetarian because it was prepared in the same kitchen as the chicken.
Oh, so
they
it might have
called
got,
it
like, some-
they called it plant forward, and meat fans also were outraged.
Is there any
Wow.
conceivable way that the cauliflower sandwich could have been good, or at least edible?
Yeah, I love cauliflower. I like cauliflower.
Yeah, but this particular sandwich.
It might have been, yeah. It just doesn't matter because the fan base of Chick-fil-A are people who don't like vegetables, is what they're saying, I guess.
Okay.
Next up, KFC's nail polish. Well, KFC took its finger-licking good slogan to a new level when it released two edible nail polish flavors. The flavors,
What?
hot and spicy and original recipe,
Edible, you say?
even came in packaging made to mimic high-end makeup products.
I figured they would come in one of those little ketchup packets.
No, it was like a really like glass tube for like looked like nice nail polish.
How long ago was this?
2016.
Oh my God.
Did you look it up, Joanna?
Yes.
Well, it turns out it was only safe for 5 days after opening the bottle, even when refrigerated, to eat. Moreover, the colors appeared transparent and clumpy. And
oh, yeah, it doesn't look like good quality nail polish.
Who would have guessed KFC didn't know how to make good quality nail polish?
And the taste test.
It's almost like Revlon making a
chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich.
The nail polish had to be refrigerated.
Isn't that hilarious? All right, next up. McDonald's Cardi B and Offset meal. Do you guys remember this? This just happened, actually.
Yeah.
In 2023. Intended to serve as a meal to share among couples ahead of Valentine's Day. In 2023, the Cardi B and Offset meal appeared at first glance a win-win for music fans and McDonald's. But McDonald's franchisees were concerned that it actually violated a set of internal McDonald's rules known as the Golden Arches Code. Are you having to look up the fact that your memory is faulty?
I am looking up the fact that it was reported by AP that McDonald's no longer uses the pink slime to make their burger patties.
Oh, so they actually did use pink slime?
According to the Associated Press, McDonald's no longer uses pink slime.
That's not the pink slime we use anymore.
The pink slime you said was only chicken nuggets, and I swore to you I heard it reported about
Well,
the
it's
burgers.
not in chicken nuggets, they're
Okay,
saying.
well, it was in their burgers.
It was in the burgers?
So McDonald's acting like they don't have any idea what this stuff is. It's like, okay, you don't make your chicken nuggets with it, but you used to make your burgers with it. Right?
Yeah, that is, I mean, they were like, we don't know what this pink slime
We
is.
don't know what this pink
chicken
slime
nuggets
is.
for sure.
Since we're only talking about chicken nuggets here, we disavow any information about the pink slime.
Anyways, to finish this last one up, did you know that there was a Golden Arches Code amongst McDonald's franchisees owners? That
No? And what is it? Why? What's the thing against Cardi B and Offset?
they believe the collaboration would hurt McDonald's family-friendly brand image due to the profanities and explicit contents presented in much of their
So
music.
you had some of the franchisees.
Isn't she the one that came out with WAP?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they have a family together, so, you know.
Their family's
still
like
a
McDonald's
family.
too. Right.
Yeah.
The Mansons had a family.
Blood related.
I have one more, or a couple more. I don't know if you want.
We're probably out of time, man.
Okay. Well, the last one is the Taco Bell Blackjack Taco. It was a black taco that was only 89 cents, released as a Halloween promotion.
I remember the Burger King had a black bun burger.
That was the A1, and it's also a very similar problem to what happened.
And that would turn your poop
jet black or green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, green is what I recall. Like the black burger would turn it like St. Patrick's Day green.
Mm-hmm.
Personal experience here, guys.
Oh, that's a personal experience?
Thank you for sharing, Buzz. We should all know less about each other.
Well, I got ectoplasm in my butt.
Joanna, you should have been on the show when they came out with the Burger King Black Burger.
They did. I was on the show, yeah.
And we all ate it.
We all ate it.
Yeah, okay. So we absolutely all tried it. And your results were similar? The end results,
Nobody needs to know my end results.
All right. We got to take a break. We'll come back. We're gonna
Fine, I guess you win on pink slime, Buzz.
Right, I was right. You were ridiculing me, gaslighting me. You were trying to make it sound like my memory's failing. You were doing all of that. It's gaslighting, borderline elder abuse.
Buzz.
Mhm.
You win.
I win.
I won't even get to tell you about the McAfrica.
Oh my God, what was the McAfrica? No, I'm sorry, I gotta know. What was the McAfrica?
It was released in 2002 as a promotion for the Olympic Games. The McAfrica was supposed to be an authentic African recipe. It was just
you open the bag and there's nothing in there.
Oh my God.
It turns out it was controversial because there was a famine taking place in Southern Africa.
What were the ingredients on a McAfrica?
Okay, it was pita bread instead of a bun, and then it just had like a patty and cheese and a...
But a regular hamburger patty? Oh, I thought it would be like lamb or something. Hey, I got the new Ethiopia burger.
Well,
you open it, it's completely empty bag.
Not all the responses were negative. The African Youth in Norway organization argued the McAfrica represented a positive piece of African culture amid tough times.
Mm-hmm. Just go down to the local
McAfrica with a
McDonald's.
You looked it up?
Yeah.
It's McAfrica with a K.
They spell it like Africa Bambaataa spells his name. That's authentic. Boy, yeah, that's super authentic. That's some Black Panther stuff there, McDonald's. Good job. All right, let's take a break. News headlines coming up next.
Artist interviews, zoo music discoveries, celebrating artists' birthdays, commemorating releases, champion of all things rock.
Food, music, our buddies affected by Down syndrome. Register today for the Buddy Walk at epbuddywalk.org.
It's fall. Leaves change color. Temperatures cool. It's the perfect time to
Wake up, El Paso. Buzz Adams is back.
You are kidding me.
Only on KLAQ.
That Cowboy Chihuahuas. Looks like we thought they were playing the Baltimore Cuervos. Instead, they were drinking Jose Cuervos. So the bus went away. They tried to come back and they failed. Damn, they gotta get better. No. They gotta get better, man.
You know what I appreciate the most about Cowboy Guy?
What's that?
Win or lose, he's talking to us Monday morning.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys play on Sunday, win or lose, he calls in. He doesn't only call in.
No,
when
that's
they win.
amazing. But do you know what I hate about those guys?
What?
That they have that same enthusiasm for the Cowboys no matter how bad they're doing. It's like,
Let them have their
no,
enthusiasm.
but
What's
it's
wrong
like
with
Cowboys fans talk about the Cowboys as if they're this championship winning team that is just
Cowboys.
They're American
since the
team.
90s. I'm talking about.
I got an email from Derek earlier this morning, and he said, "You remember when the Cowboys used to be the Chiefs?"
Yeah. I mean, they used to be something years and years ago.
I look
I
forward to that.
I do. He is so nice.
What is the morning show? It's Wrestler Guy.
Hey, Wrestler Guy.
How about them Cowboys, eh? Woo! Cowboys! Ball, Super Bowl bound! Woo! And also, how about the Miners? Woo, yeah, Miners! Yeah, don't even get me started on New Mexico State. The Aggies are terrible. We know that. Anyway, I'm a Steelers guy, so...
I'll say this: New Mexico State Aggies at least played a tough game against Liberty. You know,
Liberty.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, I'm a Steelers guy, so undefeated Steelers. Woo woo, woo woo. Come on, guys, all of you at the same time.
Okay.
Woo, Steelers. Guys, have a good morning.
Wait, now we got to do it for the Steelers too?
Oh, I guess so.
What's the Steelers like they're saying?
Well, they're a storied franchise, so I'm sure they have
Steel.
I don't know if you've ever noticed the spelling. It's Steelers, like people who work in steel. because they got a bunch of, it's the Rust Belt.
Oh, I thought it was Steelers because of Pittsburgh.
Hey, I'm calling back because I heard the consensus about my MID, my home with the traffic.
Oh, right. This is the caller who had an MID hole.
Aw.
So, Joanna, recap what you heard on his MID hole call.
He was on the road on the passing lane. God, I kind of
there was a
forgot.
lady driving too slow in the passing lane, so when he got around her, he got in front of her and started driving real slow, and then he noticed she was recording him, so he said, "Am I the a-hole?" And I said, "Yeah, anytime you're like getting revenge for a bad driver, it's just increases
You guys
the chance
don't allow me to do this one, but I was just going to say everybody sucks here.
No, can't do that.
You don't let me answer that anymore.
No, you're not allowed to answer that. And we said, yeah, you're kind of the a-hole for messing with this lady in traffic.
And you know what? I understand. I just want to apologize to the lady, and here's my apology. I'm sorry that you're such a crappy driver, and that these people don't know what they're talking about. But you know what? You have a Mom Life decal on your car. I hope that your kid turns out a better driver than you do. But damn, dude, you suck. Also, Buzz.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. You're speed, and you don't wear a seatbelt whenever you drive, according to Nico and Joanna.
That's true. Yeah.
I thought you'd be on my side, but I guess I'll change my ways. But all right, here's my apology. I'm sorry you suck at driving, lady. All right, lady. There you go.
Even a petty apology.
I love it, though.
I love it. I love the pettiness.
I don't. Okay, but
I
hold on
want
a
to know,
second.
like, where did this lady? What was she doing with the recording? Did she send it to FitFam or something?
Got to go to FitFam. How would me not wearing a seatbelt increase the chances of an accident on the road? It doesn't, right?
No, I mean, being ejected through a car could cause a secondary accident, sure.
Buzz, it's for your safety, my dude.
Well, I don't care.
You know what gets me nervous when I get in the car with you and you don't put your seatbelt on.
And the thing is just going bong, bong, bong the whole time.
Buzz, I don't know how Buzz does it, but he just tunes it out. And I'm over here in the passenger seat, like, just going crazy because I'm all, put your seatbelt on, make it stop.
You sound just like my daughter and my mother.
You tune it out.
Yeah.
It's not even.
Maybe you should start to get to the hint.
It's not even background noise anymore. Hey, so I got a couple of calls here. We had a story about a firefighter who was in his time off setting fires.
Robert Hernandez. Oh, he's part of the Rasa.
And Nico and I had this. I had brought up, there's a thing where a lot of times they find out the arsonist was a firefighter.
It was a fire. Yes, I just saw some show, and the firefighter started this huge ass fire.
But I wouldn't say a lot out of the thousands and thousands of firefighters.
No,
but it's a
not.
thing.
It's a.
But is it a thing, really?
Yeah.
Hey, Buzz. This is Las Cruces Joe, and I used to live in Southern California, and we had a rash of fires that were being set by an arsonist, and it turned out that it was a arson investigator who was setting these fires while he was going up and down the coast of California, going to conventions. And in fact, he set fire to a hardware store, I believe in Pasadena, and a little boy got trapped, separated from his grandparents, and he died.
Oh my God.
So eventually they cracked down that his method, his MO of operation, and where he was and the dates, and he got arrested and he's in prison. But this happened in the 80s, so it does happen. Thank you.
I wonder if it has anything, like if you own a place that does glass repair, like going around in your spare time and throwing rocks through windows just to drum up business. I wonder if that. I
don't think there's the same hero complex involved with.
One more call about
glass throwing.
Yeah, I have a little insight on firemen turning into pyros. I have a cousin that's a retired firefighter, and he told me that sometimes firefighters do set fires. It's not uncommon, and that part of it is this, it's a type of hero complex. They want to be the first one at the fire, So to call it in and to come to the rescue and all that kind of stuff, because I guess it's an ego thing. It strokes their ego, and then they get hero worship. And he said it's not uncommon that it is. It's a thing. Definitely, it's a thing. All right, later.
Okay. Thank you, callers.
Yeah, it's a thing. As much as serial killers are a real thing, but the percentage of people who are serial killers in the United States is like 0.000 something percent.
I am sure that most firefighters would never dream of committing an act of arson. So we're agreed on that.
Awesome. I love the firefighters.
But it happens enough that it's a thing. All right, what else in the news today?
Irene says seatbelts are for our safety, babe.
I'm not going to fly out of the car and fly through your window and hit you.
Well,
Yes, you are if you're not wearing a seatbelt.
Well, your body might not fly, but yeah, part of you could totally.
Oh my God, Buzz, just wear a seatbelt.
No, if anything, what I think of it as is you're making harder work for somebody else just to take care of you.
David C. in the app chat says everyone sucks should be a viable option in certain cases.
Yeah, maybe it should be, but it was starting to be the default answer for Joanna.
That was your answer
you guys
every
banned
time.
me from using it.
All right.
The movie Backdraft with Kurt Russell started the thing with arson and firefighters. Yeah, I forgot. That's the plot to Backdraft as well.
Not if Las Cruces Joe is right, because he's talking about something that happened in the 80s. Backdraft didn't come out till 90.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So apparently it existed before the movie Backdraft. Did you like when I was, you were naming movie, or famous lines for movies, and you just said name the movie, but I named the movie, the actor who delivered the line, who the movie was directed by, and what year it came out in.
Oh, yeah, Buzz. That was so impressive.
That was so
Thank
impressive. Wait, when did we do that?
Friday,
I think.
Yeah.
We did?
You're the one that was giving out the quotes.
It was your idea. Now who's senile? Come on, hit me with some news. I can take it.
He only did one news story.
Mexican media reported at least 10 new deaths this weekend, including corpses found wearing sombreros or pizza slices pegged onto them with knives in the northwestern state of Sinaloa, where rival cartel factions have been in open conflict with each other and authorities in recent days. The uptick in violence comes after the surprise arrest on U.S. soil of Sinaloa cartel co-founders Ismael El Mayo Zambada in late July, which is believed to have unleashed an internal power struggle within the group. In the last 11 days, 70 people have been killed.
They had a story, I don't know if this was near Chihuahua, but they made an arrest and apprehended a liger, or took into custody a liger.
Lion-tiger hybrid?
Yeah, that's right.
The fantasy animal of all children across the world?
Well, Napoleon Dynamite for sure.
Well,
you know what the deal is with ligers?
They can't reproduce.
Yeah, right. So they're like mules. They can't reproduce. But for some reason, if you combine a tiger and a lion, you get an animal that is larger than both. Like larger than a tiger or a lion.
Oh,
it just
cool.
supersizes them.
Should I go on?
Yeah.
All right. Metformin, a drug commonly used to treat diabetes, is gaining attention for its possible anti-aging effects. A new study from experts in China and partners in the U.S. found that after giving a macaque, excuse me.
Wait. We're going to talk about macaque.
Yeah.
Macaque.
Yeah.
Okay.
After giving macaque monkeys metformin, it slowed aging in various organs. Come on, Joanna. Including the brain. The 40-month study involved 36 macaques, which were given daily metformin. After a series of physical and cognitive tests, along with tissue sampling and brain imaging, the team found evidence of biological aging slowing in macaques. Yeah.
Here is one of the lead researchers talking about the...
As cute as macaque seems, the truth is, it's a filthy little thing that spreads diseases and causes nothing but trouble.
That was, Chief Scientist Steve-O.
Steve-O, who's going to yell at Nico later on for smoking his cigarette.
Well, the man who allegedly wanted to shoot former President Donald Trump on a Florida golf course has a detention hearing scheduled for today. Ryan Wesley Ruth has been charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession and receipt of a firearm with obliterated serial number. Oh, they used the word obliterated.
Yeah, he scraped the... Can I tell you a funny story about this? It was 1 week ago today that I woke up in Houston and heard the news that somebody with a gun had been on a golf course in Florida close to where the former president was playing golf. Well, I turned on the TV and I hadn't heard anything the entire day before because I went to see the Texans play. So they're reporting and they're saying that I just see on there that there's been some kind of incident involving Trump in some way, and then it's being reported. As a felon, he's charged with having 2 guns, one of which had the serial number. And for at least 10 seconds,
was charged?
I thought they were saying that Trump is the former felon who'd been charged with having a gun.
I mean, technically he is a felon.
But I was thinking, wait a minute, you're telling me they stopped a guy who was trying to shoot Trump, and then they found Trump had 2 guns on him? It took like 10 seconds for me to figure out what was going on. For that brief moment, I thought they arrested Trump for having guns on him.
Right.
Is that TDS or?
Yeah, that's totally TDS.
For
Like,
sure.
honestly, I don't know why anybody would think that Donald Trump was the person who was having a hearing where he couldn't have guns.
Only a few seconds. Right.
It took a few seconds
So I was
for
like,
Buzz's
wait a
brain
second,
to register the info.
They arrested the would-be assassin, but they also arrested Trump for having guns. And then, I had to watch a little more to figure out what was going on.
Now who's senile? All right.
It did not make sense to me at the time.
New England isn't the only place to go leaf peeping. AccuWeather, did you know that's the official term for looking at foliage?
I love leaf peeping.
I love leaf peeping, yes.
I love a good leaf peep.
AccuWeather says some of the most colorful displays could be in the Midwest. They point to Illinois and Michigan as 2 of the best states to check out the fall foliage. The forecasters say that New York, Pennsylvania, and Maine will have colors that pop as well.
We, within an hour and a half, have some of the best fall colors. You have to go about an hour and a half away. It's up near Cloudcroft.
Oh.
Especially on the far side of Cloudcroft. But even going up, when you go through the tunnel and stuff, they have spectacular.
I haven't done that yet.
Fall foliage.
Beautiful.
You done that, John?
Yes.
Go to the other side of the mountain and you'll see some, I forget what the little town is over there, but, they got a few other towns up there. You will see some stunning fall colors.
Well, a virus called enterovirus D68 has been associated with paralysis in kids, raising concerns of a possible rise in the U.S. High levels of the respiratory virus have been found in wastewater samples nationwide. Those with the highest risk of getting symptoms include infants, children, and teenagers, according to the CDC. Health experts say the virus is spread through coughing, sneezing, and touching contaminated surfaces. And finally, there was a stampede of bulls in Massachusetts this weekend.
Not the running of the bulls.
Well, people were running from the bulls.
They were. 8 large bulls escaped from a weekend rodeo event in North Attleboro. First of all, who knew they even did rodeos in Massachusetts?
Not I.
Rodeo.
Yeah.
They have a big event at Madison Square Garden every year.
Rodeo style?
Yeah, it's a big rodeo week in Manhattan. So I knew they had it there. I didn't
Cowboys,
know.
cowgirls, whole thing?
Probably.
Whole shebang? Greased up pig, little kids are trying to catch?
Could be. Never been to a Massachusetts rodeo, but I assume they sell clam chowder instead of chili.
Well, the bulls were able to escape from their enclosure.
Oh, that bull is wicked tough.
Oh my
wicked
God.
tough.
They had a guy this morning on the news who was with the full-on Boston accent. He's like, "Oh, that's a legit bull."
Well, it ran through a parking lot after charging through a fence. While 7 were quickly caught in someone's backyard, the final elusive bovine was still being sought of as of last night. Authorities are telling residents, be cautious until it gets caught.
Okay. One bull on the loose.
One bull on the loose.
I wonder if they had already shocked their genitals to get them all riled up and ornery, or if it was before that.
Did
you know that that's reportedly what they do to get the bull so mad?
I have heard that. I mean, it would make me mad.
All right. Thank you, Nico. Let's take a break. We'll come back, and we're going to have another cash code keyword in about 30 minutes, then one per hour throughout the day until 5 o'clock. So you'll have several hours for cash codes. Get yourself registered several times, possibly for $30,000. Go to KLAQ.com or open up that handy KLAQ mobile app, and you can find all the rules for the KLAQ cash code. Look for the money bag icon, and you can find out how to play, everything that's going on. But for those of you already in the game, we're going to have another cash code coming up in just about 30 minutes. More of the Buzz Adams Morning Show is on the way right after this.
While you're working away, we're working for you.
AC/DC 95.5 KLAQ, and shook me all night long. I guess Cappy's coming in today, right? It's Monday. There's a lot of sports to talk. He's not coming in today?
He's not coming in today.
No, you got to be kidding.
He's not.
Oh,
he just texted me. I don't know. He told us last week that
I'll be here at 8 a.m. every morning from now on.
No, he told us last week that specifically Monday he was going to have something done.
Oh.
And
what's he having done?
It's personal.
It sounds like a cosmetic procedure the way you say it.
No. It's just as personal as your prostate exam.
Got a few calls about some of the topics we've talked about recently, and then I thought I would play the original Fall King interview.
Are you going to play any of the ones about the seatbelt?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Buzz, got to wear a seatbelt, man. El Paso loves you. And not only that, but it's for the safety of you and for passengers in your vehicle, like your daughter or Nico or Joanna, because if you get in an accident, you're more likely to hurt or kill them by flying around inside the vehicle. It's a known fact. You can look it up. Thanks. Bye.
Oh, God, I don't want death by Buzz.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
That would be a terrible way to go. That's not the body I want on top of me when I die. Oh, my God.
I guess you guys grew up putting on a seatbelt every time you got in the car. I bet you even had child seats when you were kids. When I was a kid, we didn't have any of that.
No safety whatsoever.
Dude, your whole
That's not the flex you think it is.
In my day, dude, I hang out with older people than you. I know older people than you from different generations. They don't make any of those excuses, and they don't use any of those terms.
I don't think I ever put a seatbelt on in a car until they made it the law in Oklahoma when I was about 19 years old. They made it a law that you got to wear a seatbelt, and I don't know. I feel like I should just be grandfathered in on something like that.
No. That's like somebody saying, oh, sexual harassment was allowed back in the day. I should be grandfathered in.
God, if anything, just to make that beeping noise stop. And I think somebody in the app chat was all like, there's like these dummy seat belts that you can buy on Amazon. And I'm all, Buzz already has that.
I have one of those. I can't always find it. My daughter hides it because she wants me to put a seatbelt on.
Just put it on.
Just put a seatbelt on.
What's up, Mo Show? It's ODG.
All right.
I went to the movies and saw Am I Racist, made by Nico's favorite political commentator, Matt Walsh.
Ugh.
What I learned from the movie is that you, Buzz, and you, Nico, have to apologize for y'all's whiteness. Nico, I know you're part Mexican.
I am.
But you're white passing.
Okay.
So you apologize for your whiteness, Nico. And both of y'all have to pay reparations to Joanna because she is a POC.
Yeah.
A person of color.
Reparations, bitch. And we're in the middle of Hispanic Heritage Month.
Who is Matt Walsh?
He's a right-wing troll commentator.
Okay. Had you heard about this movie?
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Yeah, we talked about it, Buzz.
The movie is funny, man. It's funny. Even if you don't like Matt Walsh, it's a funny movie. There's a scene where people are about to whip themselves for being white. But even Matt Walsh thought that was too far. He was like, no, the session is over.
Wait, was he going like a Borat type of character and trying to convince liberals to do things like whip themselves? Is that what the premise of the movie is?
No, the premise was being like a Borat cover and going undercover to work at places that have DEI initiatives, policies like diversity, equity, inclusion, and he was trying to, I guess, show the hypocrisy behind it and show that the people who do these things are not very serious. So I guess what he's trying to do is find fringe people. Like, just how there's fringe people everywhere, do I believe there are some people who are like this and think that white people should whip themselves as reparations for past ancestors' actions?
Yeah, we got some listed, probably.
I don't think there are that many. No. I don't think there. No. I think it's a very fringe.
It's a right-wing fantasy that there are multiple people. Now, that doesn't change the fact that when kids go to school and learn about the Civil War and slavery, they might go home and tell Papa and Mama, they told us white people are bad. That's probably not what they told him. It's like, did you know that we were, that the African Americans were treated really, really bad? And then that freaks out Mima and Papa,
because they don't want to.
They write a letter and go to a school board meeting and try to get them to quit teaching that slavery once existed. That's kind of what I think goes on.
To speak about American history means to have an honest conversation about.
You can't ignore an institution that lasted for the first almost 100 years of our country's existence.
Actual institution. The 3/5 making an African American person a slave. So 3/5 of a human being. That was part of our Constitution.
I can see how some people would be dismayed and say, "My granddaughter is being taught to hate herself because she's white." No, she probably came in and was very conflicted about what she'd learned in school, just like I was when I learned about it the first time. 50 years ago, 40 years ago.
80.
And then one scene, Matt Walsh's black producer gets paid reparations by Robin DiAngelo, the author of that book, White Fragility. She goes into her purse and takes out money and pays it to the black producer of the movie. It's funny, man. I mean, what is a woman, Wosho? What is a woman?
I don't know, ODG. You tell me.
What is a girl?
I think
ODG is asking what is a woman.
Why is ODG asking what a woman is? Have you never seen one up close?
I've seen Scent of a Woman. I know what that is.
All right, let's take a break.
Concepts of
I have concepts of a woman.
If Steve's not coming in, we'll talk some sports. Cowboys lost, Miners lost. We'll have a look at sports. Eagles won. They beat the Saints in a pretty close game. It was 3-0 in the third quarter, and the Eagles came back to win that one. Sooners lost to Tennessee in their very first SEC matchup. Did I mention the Miners lost? Or do I need to mention Everybody just assumed the Miners lost, right? Well, you're right. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show on the way right after this.
Here's to fall. Maybe all the falling leaves will cover up your neighbor's political better.
Healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Let us be your soundtrack to fall while you're cruising around in your turtleneck with your pumpkin spice looking for a spirit Halloween and putting up Christmas decorations.
You can take us anywhere. Did you hear? Summer's already over. Welcome to fall from the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
All right, settle in because I've got a true crime report. Joanna, how many days have I told you I'm going to do a true crime report in a row without doing one?
It's been about 4 days now, I think.
4, not counting the weekend.
Not counting the weekend. No.
Most of last week, so I'm finally going to get to it.
Hey, good morning, Mo Show. This is Cousin Ian coming to you from AT&T Stadium in Arlington for your unsolicited Dallas Cowboys halftime report. They're sucking. They're sucking bad. If they don't get anything going in their first drive in the third quarter, the game will end at the end of the third quarter. That is all. We'll see what comes up at the end. Talk to you guys later.
You know, that's Joanna's first cousin Ian.
Cousin Ian.
He is always doing something fun. That guy is like a jet setter.
Yeah, he really is.
He was there at the Cowboys game.
I think he has seats at the games.
Man, I got to find out. He's in insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should get into it.
Yeah, he
Maybe I
got
should-
like everybody in the family insurance.
It's a good racket.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's how he made all the money. It's just from the Barba family.
The Barba family, the
Now,
Escalantes.
is he's the Barbas and the Escalantes are the two sides of your family, right? Okay.
It's like Hatfields and McCoys.
Well, cousin Ian did get. He must have been excited the second half because the Cowboys did mount a comeback, but it was not enough, and they fell to the. They fell to the Baltimore Ravens 28-25, so they got it there within a field goal, but couldn't come away with the win. But thank you, cousin Ian, for the update there. Speaking of the Cowboys, next week's game, we're going to have a lot of people tuning in. It's going to be on KLAQ, the official radio home for Dallas Cowboys football in El Paso, and it's going to be one of those Amazon Prime games. So if you don't have cool unless you don't have Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah,
you're going to have to, subscribe to that
or
see
listen to it on the queue.
Listen to it on the queue. Our broadcast is going to start, and it's Thursday, by the way. This is Thursday night football we're talking about. Pre-game show starts at 5 o'clock on KLAQ after the game is over, and the post-game will join Loudwire Nights in progress after the game. Dallas Cowboys football on the queue. Now listen, pay attention. Thursday, if you don't have Amazon Prime, you are not going to be able to see the game. You can probably figure out some way to see it, I'm sure, but make sure you tune in. Cowboys football in the Q is brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, 915 Tours, and Border City Ale House, the home of the 600 ESPN El Paso Monday Night Football watch parties. All right, got a true crime report. Before we officially get into the true crime report, I was just reading a front page story. El Paso City Council is going to review the year's crime data so far, and just a couple of things stood out. As far as homicides, murders go, El Paso has had 16 this year, compared to 41 in 2023. Also down assaults, down by a third, around 7,000. There were 10,000 assaults this year. Robberies also down, almost half. Vehicle theft, burglary, and theft. They got a lot of other crimes, and every statistic seems to be down from 2023. So, yeah, let's look at the numbers. When you hear every year that El Paso is the safest large city or in the top 3 or the top 5 or whatever, that's something to feel good about. And it looks like the numbers so far this year have our crime statistics, especially in the violent crime categories, significantly down from last year.
Oh, did you want me to bring up that comment from the guy in the app chat?
Maybe.
That was trying to argue with you about this?
He's not arguing with me because I don't even have access to the app chat.
That is absolutely true.
You guys won't let me.
Someone's arguing with Buzz?
Yes.
I'm just reporting the numbers on crime data this year.
This is what Earns from the app chat is saying, ERNS. He says, Buzz, earlier you mentioned how the Gateway Hotel was allowed to operate for years without proper permits. How about calling the mayor up and asking how this is possible? Instead, you want to talk about how the governor is stating there is crime in El Paso, like he is putting down El Paso.
Yeah, it's frustrating that we are known year in and year out as one of the safest large cities in America, and our own governor and his attorney general, so our elected officials, are dumping on El Paso just like Rick Perry did. It just seems like El Paso is such a Democratic stronghold that Republicans, especially in state office, feel like they can just dump on El Paso without any kind of repercussions.
Well, here's the thing. Republicans are only running on immigration, pretty much. I mean, it is the biggest stick that they are using to beat Americans over the head with. And I don't think it's something that it is in your face all the time, especially if you don't live on the border.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking. I know Greg Abbott has been to El Paso before. He spoke to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, but then to turn around and just claim that El Paso is ground zero for Venezuelan gang activity is not reflective of what's going on.
This same guy brought up in this chat earlier, why haven't you talked about the 12-year-old girl killed by 2 illegal immigrants in Texas?
Well, that happened in June, so it's like a 3-month-old story. That's why I'm not talking about it today. I think we did report on it.
We reported on it, and again...
Do you want me to keep bringing it up?
Well, on Fox News they do. They use it as
bring it up all the time.
Well, they use that as an example of the dangers of illegal immigration.
When you allow thousands of people to come in and you don't have a strict procedure for it, you're going to get mostly good people. But also, like any other population, you're going to get some bad people. But the fact that you have to bring something up from 3 months ago tells me that it's not as bad as you or Fox News would like it to be. It's almost like you want more violent crime.
So it proves your point.
So it proves your point. You would rather have more people dead than have to rescind whatever it is that you're selling here. Yeah, that was horrific. They arrested 2 immigrants in the country illegally, which, by the way, is a far cry from, for instance, the Haitians in Ohio. They're here as part of an asylum program. So, yeah, when you're making the point, it pisses me off when people ignore the actual statistics and just say, oh,
Absolutely.
El Paso's close to Mexico. They probably have a lot of Mexicans, therefore it must be a really dangerous town.
Right. That is
open a unified FBI crime statistics report, Governor.
But that's really dangerous because using anecdotal evidence to paint a picture is false. Just like this 12-year-old girl using that one case to paint a picture that we are rife with illegal immigrant violence everywhere. It's not
listen,
true.
There could be violence. Definitely, we want to try and keep people who would commit such a horrific crime out of the country.
Sure.
But I don't think you get to paint tens of thousands of people based on the crimes of a couple. Unless you're suggesting that something like 80-90% of all illegal aliens murder people. Is that what you're suggesting?
I feel like that's almost what they are suggesting.
Right. That's why they're still bringing up a murder that happened 3 months ago, which was tragic and heartbreaking. And if I were that girl's parents, I would probably make that my number one priority. I get it, but can we also remain in reality a little bit? El Paso has, 16 homicides this year so far. We had a story out of Birmingham. They had a mass shooting in Birmingham and 4 people died. Birmingham, which is about half the size of El Paso, already has 122 murders this year. El Paso is relatively, for a city of its size, a very safe community.
Which we have to give it up for the police, right?
You got to give it up to the police. You got to give it up to citizens. You got to give it up to everybody. So that's my answer to that.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Actual crime stories from around the world and across the nation. This is the True Crime Report. And we got a lot of true crime to tell you about today. A burglar broke into somebody's Corvette and then got stuck inside and started begging the owner to let him out of the Corvette.
Video of this.
Yeah.
The video of this is hilarious.
A 33-year-old man broke into a luxury Corvette in a parking garage. This happened in Miami. He could not start the car, but he also couldn't get out. That model of and I don't know much about Corvettes, but that model had a security feature where none of the electric components function if you don't have the key.
Mm-hmm.
That includes the doors, which locked on him. The owner got back to his car and was startled to see a burglar stuck inside. So he pulled out his phone and started filming the burglar. I think we have a little audio. Yeah, here you go. Here's the moment when Julio Solano, so Solano owns the Corvette, found the would-be thief inside his car. Sorry, let me play that again. A lot of components on the True Crime Report today.
My brother, this is not your car. This is my car. But why are you in my car? No, you can't get out because we calling the cops.
Was able to break in the car, but that particular Corvette
if you're in the car and you don't have the keys, none of the electrical components will function.
Yeah.
But little did he know that there's a manual door handle underneath the seat that, thank God he didn't know. Just be alert. You know, when you're getting in and out of your car, be vigilant, be alert of your surroundings.
Oh, so there was a manual way to open the door, but he didn't know where to find it. So the guy was asking him, I guess, like kind of in sign language to let him out of the car. Police came and arrested the man. He's facing one count of burglary of an unoccupied vehicle. A woman in Colorado called law enforcement last week to report that 8 vehicles were following her, and she seemed really shaken by it. It turns out police responded to the call, and it turns out she was just paranoid, probably because of all the cocaine and alcohol that was in her system.
Yep. That'll do it. Yep.
Does cocaine make you paranoid?
Oh, yeah. You haven't heard Joey Diaz talk about the time that, like, he barricaded his doors and, like, thought somebody was coming to get him when there was nobody?
Well, this is a Florida man story, but it's almost too much of a gimme. I'm not going to include it because I'm afraid you guys would get it, and the company would owe you each $10,000. A Florida man was arrested for illegally keeping alligators on his property. Robert Miller was cited for having the alligators in his pool, but he said he didn't put them there. Here is Florida man Robert Miller denying the allegations that he was keeping alligators in his swimming pool.
I love wildlife. That's why I live out here in the woods.
So you don't know how the alligators got in there?
Somebody stuck them in there.
Somebody stuck
How they got in there?
Somebody stuck them in there. Somebody broke into a car that was parked at a school and got away with a box containing $1 million in cash. All right, something fishy here. This happened back on a week ago Friday, so that would have been Friday the 13th.
Okay.
So it happened on Friday the 13th. Somebody in California had their car broken into. They were parked outside a school and had gone inside the gym with their child. When they came back to the car, they saw the back passenger window had been shattered. And when they looked inside, they noticed that there was at least one thing missing.
What?
A cardboard box that the owner said contained $1 million in cash.
Okay.
Okay.
A cardboard box.
How do you approach that one if you're the police? Okay, so they stole a cardboard box containing $1 million in cash? And that almost sounds like something you would say is like, yeah, tell my insurance company there was $1 million in cash.
Oh, no, they stole my box of money.
Oh, no.
But police say when they investigated, they also found a GPS device attached to the car that the owner, the victim, didn't seem to be aware of. So they think it might have been somebody who knew that he carried $1 million in a cardboard box. So suddenly this break-in is a lot more interesting, as if it weren't interesting enough because of the $1 million. There aren't any more details at this point. Police are investigating both the break-in, but they're also investigating the claim that there was $1 million in a box. I guess they're just not sure if they're going to buy that or not. A guy in North Carolina got released from jail. It doesn't say what he was in jail for. But within 2 hours of being released from jail, he stole a vehicle. It was a utility truck for Spectrum, and the worker was still up in the truck's bucket. You know, the cherry picker.
Mm-hmm.
With the boom arm extended. Well, the guy stole the Spectrum truck, and the Spectrum employee was still in the bucket.
Oh, God.
He was working on power lines. Wait, the Spectrum guy works on power lines?
The singer for Disney Troop?
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
It's a Goofy movie
It is.
reference.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the employee was in the bucket when the guy jumped in the driver's seat, stole the truck, and started speeding down the road. The bucket was still extended at the end of the boom.
God.
The thief drove more than half a mile before crashing on the side of the road. The boom hit a power line and caused a utility pole to snap.
Dude.
The worker apparently got tossed from the bucket, but he had a safety strap on, and that saved his life. He ended up cutting the strap to free himself, and he hurt his leg when he landed, but that's the only injury that he suffered.
You really don't want to be on the outside if you do this kind of thing. You must have some type of condition where life just seemed like it made more sense.
Here's the guy who stole the bucket truck. That looks like the old man that lives next door to the McAllisters in Home Alone.
It kind of looks like Tracy.
It kind of looks like Tracy. So it's an older dude, and his name is Frank Moody. He had been released from jail 2 hours earlier. Now he is facing charges of auto theft and assault with a deadly weapon. I guess the deadly weapon being the Spectrum truck. Okay. Just a couple more stories. The country of Norway spent hundreds of man-hours over a swatting incident pulled off by a guy against his rival in fantasy football. God, that is so complicated. Did you follow that?
No.
Okay, so a 25-year-old man from Philadelphia named Matthew Gabriel pled guilty to 2 counts of interstate and foreign threats after he made false tips to the police and in the United States and in Norway, claiming that his rival was a threat. I always thought fantasy football was a group of friends, but I guess you can play fantasy football with complete strangers?
Yeah, I think so. But what could you get into an argument over that would lead to you?
They had some kind of
swatting
argument. They had some kind of fantasy football argument in a chat. It is unclear exactly what was said. Anyway, Matthew Gabriel, knew the other guy was studying abroad in Norway, so he called the authorities in Norway and made an anonymous tip that his rival was planning a mass shooting at a concert. Norway says they spent 900 hours of manpower investigating the case, costing over $100,000 U.S. They spent that much money and wasted that many man-hours before they realized it was just a hoax. But during the month-long investigation, Mr. Gabriel did it again. He emailed another fictitious threat, this time to the University of Iowa, claiming that the same member of his fantasy football group was threatening to blow up the school. Well, the FBI was brought in to investigate, and they were able to trace it back to Matthew Gabriel. He is scheduled to be sentenced in January. He faces a maximum penalty of 5 years in federal prison and a $250,000 fine. So people can take fantasy football way too seriously. Here is the lawyer for Matthew Gabriel, the guy who called Norway and the University of Iowa. I know it's not swatting if the SWAT team doesn't get called out, but it's the same principle anyway.
I'm sure he did not think it was going to go this far. The Norwegian police spent over 900 man-hours dispelling this threat. He really is your average Joe. He's very remorseful to the Norwegian government, to the victim in this case, anybody else that may have been hurt. And obviously, he's grown up a lot in the last few months, and I think he'll grow up a little more on the 15 months of home confinement too.
Yeah, well, he's 23. That's an adult. I mean, you're usually out of college by the time you're 23, so I guess you could still be growing up. Finally, a 23-year-old. Excuse me. This guy's 25. Matthew Gabriel's 25. The next story involves a 23-year-old. A man stabbed another man in an argument over peanut butter and jelly. What do you think the argument could be? Like chunky or smooth, or cut off the corners or leave the corners on?
Yeah.
What could the fight have been about?
Level of toastedness.
You don't toast a PB&J.
Oh, yeah.
No, you eat it on preferably white bread, but it could be
It could
wheat
be
bread.
toasted.
I like it toasted.
I've never seen anybody eat a toasted PB&J before.
What is wrong with you? It's bread.
Yeah,
You
but
just toast it.
Any sandwich can be made toasted or not.
right. But that's not what I'm used to. Would you toast a tuna fish sandwich?
Some people toast the
bread,
toast,
maybe, yeah. If I wasn't so
Have you heard of a tuna melt?
allergic to tuna.
Oh yeah, there is a thing called a tuna melt. 23. A 23-year-old man in Illinois named Javon Owens was charged with first-degree attempted murder after he stabbed a man with a butter knife in an argument over peanut butter and jelly. A witness said Javon and the other man were arguing over peanut butter and the victim not cleaning up after themselves, leaving peanut butter and jelly on the counter. What? The argument turned violent with Mr. Owens stabbing the other guy 5 times with a butter knife. Stabbed him in the hip, the lower back, his armpit, and his shoulder bone. The witness drove the victim to the hospital. The stab wounds punctured an intestine. Wait a minute. Are there sharp butter knives that I'm not aware of? I wouldn't think you could stab someone and puncture an intestine
I'm sure
with
you
a
could.
butter. Yeah, if you did it hard enough,
Really
I guess.
Focus.
If convicted, Javon Owens could spend up to 30 years in prison on the attempted murder charge.
Peanut butter jelly
Yeah.
Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time.
All right, that's the True Crime Report. We'll come up. We got to wrap things up. Yeah.
Oh, no.
We got to wrap things up. We'll have one more segment. It'll have to be a quick one right after this.
Did you hear? Summer's already over.
Summer, you're fired. Autumn, you're hired.
Savings off regular prices. Exclusions apply.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers. At GVILaw.com.
I know we only have a couple of minutes. That's why I was thinking I could do random facts. Those don't take very long.
Okay.
And everybody likes when I do random facts, don't they?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I should do more of them.
Whatever. Clock's ticking.
Time for time. Well, I don't want to make it go too. I want to use all the time I do have. Nico, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up the show here?
No,
I can tell
just
you what the dining deal is for this week already.
I'm going to be like Ellen DeGeneres now and just be like this. Be kind to everyone, guys.
I don't think she's doing
Remember
that anymore.
to take care of yourselves and each other.
And each other.
There's an
Also-
Ellen Netflix special that's coming out this week. And so she's talking about her nice person image in the trailer. Would you watch Ellen DeGeneres' Netflix special?
I don't watch any specials really that much anymore. But
What comedy, I mean?
that's what I'm talking about.
You don't?
But
you watched everything that Chappelle did for the past year.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Chappelle.
Oh, not a big fan of Ellen.
Yeah, I am as much as, yeah, whatever.
All right, well, let me catch up on what's been going on with me since you saw me last. I decided to take up gardening. I got chickens. Let me see what else I can tell you about. Oh, yeah, I got kicked out of show business. Yeah, the Be Kind girl wasn't kind. That was the headline. Here's the problem. I'm a comedian who got a talk show, and I ended the show every day by saying, be kind to one another. Had I ended my show by saying, go yourselves, people would have been pleasantly surprised to find out I'm kind.
Yeah.
I didn't go into this business for money. It was about healing my childhood wounds. I thought if I could make people happy, then they'll like me. And if they like me, I'll feel good about myself. And all I can say about that is thank God for the money.
And now it's time for
Random facts.
All right, this is going to be the fastest random facts you've ever heard in your life.
You got 30 seconds.
Random fact number 1. The first college football All-American game was selected in 1889. 1889! And the quarterback was a player from Princeton named Edgar Allan Poe.
Wow.
He was second cousins with the author Edgar Allan Poe and was named after him. Interesting? All right.
Very.
Random fact number 2.
Boom.
A lot of people say about Tesla, it's like, I don't necessarily like what Musk is doing with Twitter, or, but still, it's really good for the environment that you've got these renewable energy cars. Here's the fact for you on this one. SpaceX flights emit more CO2 than all the Teslas in the United States save. Are you surprised by that?
No, I assume rockets would do that.
Would use a lot of CO2. Finally, random fact number 3, Michael Jackson's Thriller video has surpassed 1 billion views on YouTube. Now, that's not the random fact. That is a fact, but it's not the random fact. That song was originally titled Starlight, not Thriller. And they even had an original demo of it. You can't find this. It's been removed from YouTube, but here's Thriller as it was originally written by Michael Jackson. Yeah, and then they decided, well, let's make it about zombies. Or werewolves, whatever. They were zombies, weren't they?
Yeah, they were zombies.
Okay.
These are just some facts that I learned. It was a maze. Everyone should try to learn something new each day.
You know what I think? I think you talk too much. Blah, 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 blah.
Hey, man,